All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello and welcome. This is Greg Wells coming to you live tonight on Wednesday, April 12th. And let's start with a quick sound check as we always do. If you're hearing me loud and clear, could you go ahead and give me a yes in the chat box? And let's just make sure that you're both hearing and seeing things as we are about to get underway here. You are in the right place here tonight to learn how to cash in on Amazon. I bet you've bought something on Amazon. I know I have. I do all the time. And Amazon is a place that's full of people that are buying things, right? So what better place for us to look for ways to make money than the place where people are already going to buy things? Now, I've used Amazon for a long time as a consumer. I've never really figured out how to use it from a business standpoint. But our guest presenter today has figured this out. Now, Ty Cohen and I have known each other for several years. We met on an event called the Marketers Cruise a couple of years back. We were actually hanging out in the jacuzzi, and we just started talking, and he started giving me some insights into some of the things that he was doing. And I kept asking him, like, really, how does that work, and how are you doing that? And he kept going and going, and I realized this guy really, really knows his stuff when it comes to Amazon. And this is something that I needed to be exploring and getting into and making money with, and that I needed to bring to my people, to you. Whenever I see something that's this good, this is the stuff that I bring before you. So without further ado, I'm going to turn things over to our presenter tonight, Ty Cohen. I'll be right along with you taking notes, and we're just going to have a quick moment of silence while Ty fires up his systems. But why don't you go ahead and take it from here, Ty?
My name is Ty Cohen, and you know what? So one of the things that he's told me is that this is a highly interactive audience, right? He speaks high of you guys, so he told me that they're really engaging. He says they love to ask questions, and you guys are super smart. So I'm not going to baby you on this presentation. I'm going to get right to the meat. We're going to jump right in it. And right before we do that, I want to make sure if I have your permission to not only give you my best stuff, right? Like I said, I'm going to share some things with you that I've never shared before on any presentation. So I'm going to give you that. Is that okay? Give me a big yes in the questions box. Give me a big yes. Lorby says, hi, Ty. Yes, says Annette. One says Gary. Yes, says Brad. Absolutely, says Kay. We've got Ruth, Seth, Monica, Gabrielle, Ed, Zeta, Tim, Jerry, Henrietta, Terry. Another Terry, Davida, Dave. I hope I got that right, Davida. Let me know. Renee, Todd. We've got Alex. We've got Jacqueline. One of my favorite names, Jacqueline. I love that. Bernardo. We've got Michael. We've got Madhuri, Victoria. Another Alex here. Davida says, yes, you got it right. All right, good. I'm glad I got that right because I'm going to be calling out not only you, Davida, but a lot of you that are here on this presentation this time around, okay? And Dave says, thank God you're recording this. I hope so, Dave. You never know with GoToWebinar. Sometimes things just go nuts, right? So you want to hold on to your seats. Now, let me ask you a quick question really quickly. As Davin said, this is something, what I'm going to teach you is something that can be applied whether you just are an author, right? You have already published a book. You have a book idea that's like literally inside of you. You just don't know how to get it out. You don't know what venue, what avenue to use. Or, right, if that's you, if you're the author or if you just have the desire to write a book, put a 1 into the questions box. And I want you folks to get used to this questions box because we are going to become best friends. We're going to share a lot of cool stuff here. All right, so we've got some 1s. We've got some 1s. The screen says presentation will start shortly. Yes, it does. All right, so we're not even getting into it yet. But thank you, Lawrence. All right. Now, if you have desire, yes, Tim, if you have a desire to just simply make money with this thing, right, then give me a 2. Give me a 2. Now, here's the thing. So I've got students literally around the planet that use this approach for both, right? So it's totally fine. I personally am not much of a writer, right? We're going to have a lot of honesty in this thing, right? I believe in honesty and being straightforward. I'm not much of a writer, but I am a marketer. I love that. I'm passionate about that. But I'm also even more passionate about helping people to make money and then making money in turn by doing that. I think that Zig Ziglar had it right. He said if you help enough people to get what they want, then you can get almost anything that you want. Okay? All right. Let's rock and roll. Tim, good. Tim, are you in the Facebook group? We've got Tim here. He says, you know, he's already part of the program, and he's in the group, and he's rock and rolling, and he's working at it hard, and he's doing it. All right, so let's rock and roll here. So now, for the authors, have you ever published a Kindle book before? Give me a big yes if you have. Have you ever published a Kindle book before? Yes, says Ruth. Yes, says Wendy. Yes, says Ted. And if I don't get your answer here or respond to you, just repeat your question, right? We literally have hundreds of people that are on here, and the answers are just flying by in the questions box here. In the process, says Monica. Also, I'll say, okay, so let's see. Monica, I'm going to give you some tips that will help you out. We've got yes from Ed. We've got a no from Herb. No, says Henry. Well, if you have published already, tell me, is it fact or fiction? What did you publish? Was it fact or fiction? And both do extremely well with what I'm going to share with you. And then also let me know what genre, right? So I personally, man, I publish in like literally as many genres as you could possibly think of. I'm all over the place, like romance, mystery, thrillers. My daughter publishes a lot as well. She actually started when she was 13. She's 18 now, about to be 19 pretty soon in 2 more months. Jesus, where does the time go? So what genre? And lastly, do you write it yourself or do you outsource it? And both approaches, right, can be applied to what I'm going to share with you. As a matter of fact, I started out writing some of this myself, saw what's possible, and then I started outsourcing. So pretty cool. And you can actually apply both methods to this. So we've got Annette says she wrote it. Ted says I write it. Outsourced, says Monica. Wrote it myself. I like writing, says Ruth. That's awesome, Ruth. You'll do really well with this. Gary says fact, co-author, bestseller, and author business. He outsourced that. Bernardo says outsourced it. Co-contributor in the self-help spirituality. 4 books, says Nancy. Hey, if you guys have books, throw up some of your titles and I'll shout you out, okay? Fact, says Annette. Fact, says Monica. Genre is helping parents keep their children safe online. So parenting, says Ruth. That's awesome. That's really evergreen, right, Ruth? Good one. Real estate, says Monica. That's evergreen. Self-help, says Annette. One of my favorite subjects. Biblical history, says Ted. Awesome. Does well. It's going to be evergreen like forever. Fiction, children's book with illustrations. Wrote it myself, says Anne. Interracial romance, says Bernardo. I wrote it, says Annette. Janine says she doesn't hear any sound. So Janine, you may want to restart. All right? So if you're not hearing any sound, because everyone else can hear me there, so, and I definitely don't want you to miss out on anything. Let's see. Wife's Purpose, fiction. That's Renee's book title. Sunday's Child from Wendy. She wrote on, Renee says, I write on health. What keeps you awake at night? From Sherry. That's awesome. Thank your children are safe online. Think again, says Ruth. Jesus and Me is Ted's title. Let's see what else. Kay, yes. Kay asked a very good question. And she says, is this webinar useful if I don't want to write a book? Absolutely it is. I don't write any of my books, okay? And I make a fortune, all right, every single month, and I'm going to show you that. A good portion of my students don't write their books. About 50% don't write their books, 50% do, all right? So let's jump right into this. The High Priest, says Gary. That's his title. Finding the Leader Within, A Journey of Commitment and Courage is Annette's title. So let's do this. Let's rock and roll. So how many people are familiar with James Patterson? He's literally one of the world's most successful authors. James Patterson. Give me a big yes, whether you love him or hate him. He's got like some people really like him, and then some people don't like him as much. I don't get that. Maybe you guys can fill me in on that. What's that all about? But literally, he's written 158 novels, right? And you're going to see pretty soon why I have the word written in quotations. He's put out 13 books a year. Like, this guy is a publishing machine, okay? He sold a staggering 325 million copies worldwide. I mean, look at that. 325 million copies across the globe. He's held 114 New York Times best-selling novels. 114. Think about that. Like, how many authors are struggling to get to that point of having just one, if this guy has done it 114 times, right? He holds the New York Times record for the most New York Times bestsellers by a single author, which is also a Guinness World Record. He's made as much as, get this is really going to knock your socks off. He's made as much as over $100 million in a single year. That's over $100 million in a single year, right? He's made collectively, right, from all of his books, overall, $700 million. Like, aren't these numbers staggering? Okay? And Sherry says, Sherry, I'm glad you, before I carry on, right, I'm going to deviate because, again, I want to give you stuff that I have not given anyone else. So I'm going to pull out some of these things that are, these ideas that are lurking in my head, some stuff that works really well for me, and I'm going to deviate every once in a while. And I want to do so right now. Sherry pointed out something. She says some of his books are good and some aren't very interesting. Okay? Some of his books are good and some aren't very interesting. Sherry, that's a perfect example of how anyone, right, can be successful. It doesn't mean just in book publishing, but in life in general, in business in general, right? Sometimes we think that our product, our service has to just be 100% like on point. It has to be perfect. And we end up never getting anywhere. So perfectionism leads to paralysis. Remember that. Right, now, look at these numbers. Staggering, says Vinay. Absolutely. Right, so his titles have generated over $2 billion. B. Okay? Most importantly, now this is what I want you to get. Most importantly, he has 23 co-authors that are known as ghostwriters. Yet there's still some authors and writers who are holding on to an antiquated mindset of, you know, I'm not a real author if I don't write it. Think about that. Is that holding you back? Now, this guy is 69 years old, yet he thinks and embraces leveraging the talents of others like a young, hungry author. Right? There's no longer a time where you can publish 1, 2, or even just 5 books and easily hit it big. I mean, it can be done, but not as easily as 10, 20, 30 years ago. And as an author who wants to be successful, whether you're writing this stuff yourself or you're outsourcing it, right? You want to be able to gain a legion of readers and, most importantly, make money. You must get the importance of outsourcing and leveraging the time of other people. So using ghostwriters, right? So either you get with the times or you fall behind. And that applies to everything in business. Everything. It's really that simple. What Davin mentioned earlier, how we get together and we talk about what's working, what's not working, what direction the business is going in, or the industry, I should say. I mean, those are really gems. Those are like the lifeblood of our businesses, right? Think about that. Either you innovate or you die. Either you get with the times or you fall behind. It's really that simple. And it doesn't just apply to this. All right? Leroy, I love your honesty. Leroy says, I suffer from perfectionism. And I think if most people that are listening to this presentation were honest with themselves, they would say the same. It's what hurts us. All right? Now, if you don't know where to start when it comes to ghostwriting, I'm going to show you how you can get started and how you can go in and outsource that. Right? So my promise to you is to give you all of the information that you need in order to research, write, and publish a series of best-selling Kindle books to generate massive passive income. Right? And now when I say write, that includes not having to write it, because I don't write any of the books that I publish. I don't write any of them. I started out writing some, but now I don't. Right? Because when it comes to being able to make money online, all right, you have to be able to change your mindset from the way you think about things to the point where you're not just trying to do everything yourself, but you're trying to leverage, all right, the knowledge, the time, and the skill of other individuals. When you do that, you get to the next point of being massively successful. So I'm going to show you how to do all of this stuff, write, research, outsource, and publish a series of best-selling Kindle books literally just days from right now. So let me show you some of the proof here. This is the same system that I recently bought my mom a house. And my mom is 77 years old. And as a kid, I was really a very sickly kid. I have something known as sickle cell anemia, which is a chronic disease. And you know, I've learned to really handle it as an adult. But when I was a kid, man, I would be in the hospital sometimes for weeks and weeks on end, having what's known as sickle cell anemia crisis. And my mom was always there. Even though she had 7 other children, she was always there. I don't know how she did it. Like, I don't know how she kept her sanity having this kid that was super sickly and having to always be at the hospital and you know, just very, very supportive. Because my dad always worked. I mean, he was a hard blue-collar worker. He always worked 2 or 3 jobs at a time, right? So at the age of 13, I said to myself, I said, you know what, my mom does so much, I'm going to end up buying her a house. You know, Sherry says, I understand that. She's a retired nurse. So she says, good for you that you had that support. When I was 13, I set the goal. I said, you know what, I'm going to buy my mom a house. And we had already lived in a home, right? But I said, I'm going to buy my mom her dream house, and I'm going to get this thing done. I didn't know how I was doing it. A foolish kid, right? At 13, sometimes we have these dreams, and we imagine things, and we imagine what's possible, and we don't even know how we're going to do it. And then we grow into adults, and we start to think realistically, quote unquote, and when we stop, then we stop dreaming and imagining. But thanks to this system that I'm going to show you here, thanks to Amazon Kindle Publishing, I was able to buy my mom a house, literally move her from Connecticut. My dad passed about 9 years ago, same year that Michael Jackson died, actually. So I was able to move my mom from Connecticut here to North Carolina. She's literally like 4 minutes away from me up the street. Got her dream house. It's a 1-story, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, and she loves it. We presented it to her on her 77th birthday this past October. And best of all, I paid cash for it using this system. So, I mean, I just loved it. Loved it. Hey, Sherry says she's in Concord. All right, there you go, Corey. Sherry, we're practically neighbors. I love that. So now, here's a testimonial from one of my students. He's a professor up at Penn State, right? Smart guy. You don't have to be smart to do this. He's probably smarter than I am here. But he says, you know, he sent me this text like 9:30 in the morning. He says, this month will be my first $5,000 month. He's doing $5,000 a month. He says, my goal is set on getting to the $10,000 per month level by June 1st. All right? Here's another testimonial from one of my students, and ironically, she sent this one in the morning as well, 9:44. She says, I sold 5 copies of my book, all right, this week. Now, here's the kicker. You might be thinking 5 copies is not a lot, but she had just started 2 days prior to sending me this text. So there's people who have published Kindle books a year ago and haven't sold 5 copies just because they don't know what I'm going to share with you. They don't know a tenth of what I'm going to share with you. All right? Here's another one of my students, Darren DeVry. This guy is 66 years old. He's over in Perth, Australia. So if I didn't mention it already, you can do this literally no matter where you're at, any part of the planet. He says, Ty, over the last year, I've continued to follow the Kindle cash flow system, and I'm now doing $20,000 per month in sales. All right, 66 years old, and he is crushing it. So you are at ground level of what I like to call the new age diamond mine. And I want to show you guys just some of the money that I've been able to make just playing around with publishing ebooks before I created a streamlined system for doing so. But before I share these my results with you here, really quickly, I want to point something out. I literally had, when I first started this, I had a diamond mine on my hands, and I didn't realize it. I didn't realize the true potential, and I almost let it slip away. And the reason why is, yes, Adam, and the reason why is because I was just literally all over the place. Literally all over the place. How many people are like that? And we're being totally honest. I'm putting a lot of stuff out there, again, because this is Davin's tribe here, and I just want to be able to give you as much as I can. But I had shiny object syndrome to the 10th degree. Every email that I would open up, every webinar, you know, oh, that's awesome. Oh, I need to buy that. And, you know, there was just so many opportunities. And I wasn't buckling down on what was the most beneficial opportunity, the most realistic opportunity. And that is partnering with a multi-billion-dollar company like Amazon. Here I was thinking that I can do this on my own, start my own business, right, doing everything else, and not realizing the true potential of being associated with Amazon. All right, so ad says yes, back and forth, right? Yes, I need to focus, do one to three things well. Yes, Kay, absolutely, and that's where I'm at now. So now, here's one of the first checks that I received from Amazon when I first started this. And again, my head was in the clouds. I literally had shiny object syndrome to the 10th degree and was chasing everything. And it was in the amount of $2,297.30. As I said earlier, although I wasn't making a lot of money, when I first got this check, I really didn't pay much attention to it because I was just all over the place. I didn't see the potential. And it wasn't until 30 days later when, bam, another check came in the mail. 30 days later. Now, I didn't do anything differently from this point to this point. The first check was in the amount of $2,200. The next check comes in the amount of almost $2,900. I saw a massive increase, but didn't do anything differently. Right? Who could tell me why? If you can take a big guess. Devin tells me that this is a smart group. I'm sure you'll get it. And then when I saw this, residual, says Gabrielle. Yes, absolutely. Word of mouth, says Seth. Absolutely, yes. Both of you are right. What else? All right? Now, I didn't publish any more books. I hadn't published any additional books. And then the next month, when I got this check, I said, you know what, maybe I should start publishing. You get a $3,000 check in the mail out the blue, right? You start thinking. And I said, maybe I should publish a couple more books. So I published, a couple more books. I can't remember what it was. I think about 2 more at that time. And here's the kicker. The first 3 books that I published, that resulted in this check and this check, were books that I had written. All right? It was my, absolutely. It was my own writing there. All right? Then, the next month, I get another check in the amount of, bam, $4,462.53. Okay? A 55% increase. Now, at this time, I saw the potential. I started to really focus just on Amazon publishing. I left everything else alone. I started publishing more books. I started testing things like titles, descriptions, price points, covers, a lot of this which I'm going to share with you. And then the next month, I saw another increase in the amount of $8,403.84. All right? And then after that, I quickly went to the point where I brought in just under $30,000, and I have Amazon now depositing my royalties every single month, right, in the form of electronic deposits directly into my bank account, because you don't want checks in the amount of $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 just floating around there. Yes, Matt, I had to remove a lot of stuff for privacy. Absolutely. Yep. All right, so now, here's where we're at. Let's continue. When you stay until the end, you'll actually see, right, one of the niches that my daughter started publishing to at 13 and grew to $5,000 a month in sales. She's now 18 years old, and she's crushing. So this is something that you can do with your kids. This is something that you can do with your husband, your wife, your significant, right? Your family members can get involved. All right, so now, as Davin said at the beginning, my name is Ty. I'm known as the Amazon KDP, King of Amazon Kindle Publishing. I've spent years running tests to discover what works and what doesn't, things like price points, topics, covers, how to start and profit fast. Literally made millions with Amazon. I've taught hundreds of extremely successful students across the globe. I've taught a lot of your favorite internet marketers, right? Your gurus, this stuff, and their families. And most importantly, I've taught my family how to make a killing using this system. And now I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. Now, just a disclaimer here. There's nothing super special about me. I started out working as a clerk at Walgreens Pharmacy, right? And again, being totally transparent, you will most likely not make thousands and thousands of dollars from the first ebook that you publish. I'm just being honest with you, right? I hate watching webinars where people over-deliver and they give you stats that are just not realistic. You're not going to become a millionaire off of your first ebook. Is it possible? Yes, but it's more likely that it's not going to happen, right? When I first got started, I just wanted to cover a few bills. I wanted to make a couple of $100, enough to pay a light bill or a car bill or a part of my mortgage, right? I didn't realize that this thing could grow into something that generates tens of thousands of dollars a month, right? The most important thing here is that this is a long-lasting business model that can consistently generate income for you for many, many, many years. I've been doing this for almost 7 years now. And each year gets better and better and better. So, with that said, are you ready to discover the 3 secrets to publishing best-selling Kindle books on Amazon? I'm going to give you secret number 1, which is how to come up with a best-selling book idea in 3 minutes, even if you've never done anything like this before. Secret number 2 will be 3 ways to get your ebooks created super fast. even if you hate writing like I do, right? Secret number 3 will be how to publish and launch your Kindle ebooks quickly and easily so that you can start making sales. So let's dive right into this. Secret number 1, how to come up with a best-selling book idea in just 3 minutes or less. So the way I do this is I use the Google Keyword Planner, right? This too will help you to find a best-selling book idea, and then you can also use this to come up with a killer title, literally in minutes, and I'll show you this. So what you'll do is you'll go to google.com. Don't do this now because I don't want you to miss out on anything. And in the search bar, you'll type in Google Keyword Planner. Google Keyword Planner, right? It's usually the first or second result that comes up. You're going to click onto that, and then you'll see a control panel that looks similar to what you see here. They change it up from time to time, but for the most part, it functions the same. So in this area here, this is where you'll put in the keyword, the topic, or the idea that you're considering publishing an ebook about, right? So in this case, at this point in my life, I was studying lucid dreaming. How many people are familiar with lucid dreaming? It's really awesome. So it's a fascinating subject, all right? Mary Kay says, yes, she is. And who else? Yep, says Seth. Nancy says yes. Yes, says that. All right? Here we go. So now, you put in your subject, your keyword, your idea, right? And you're going to select Get Ideas. You want to make sure that all languages is selected and all locations are selected as well. Google and search partners also. Then you hit Get Ideas. And then what happens is Google will show you similar phrases that people have searched for. All right? So take a look at this. Not only will they show you your the search volume for your phrases, for the phrase that you typed in, but they'll also give you similar, right, keywords and phrases and show you what those search terms have resulted in on a monthly basis. So, for example, the phrase meaning of dreams, right, there were 18,000, right, 100 individuals that typed in meaning of dreams over the last 30 days. Dream meaning, right, 2,900. Dreams meaning, 2,400. Dream meanings, 1,900. So you get it, right? Pretty much. Now, here's the kicker. I found that when I'm doing this research, right, some of my best ebooks, my best sellers have come out of this tip that I'm going to share with you. If you can get your combined monthly search volume, right, your combined monthly search volume to be between 10,000 to 100,000, you've hit the honeypot, as my folks over in London and in England like to say. You've really, you've come across the honeypot there. So again, if you can get your combined search volume to be between 10,000 to 100,000, right, you've really done well. That's a great subject. It's something that people are extremely interested in. So if you don't get anything else out of what I've said thus far, make sure you make a notation of that. And the reason why is, you're probably wondering why. Well, here's the thing. Anything less than 10,000, right, and the marketplace is just not big enough. It's just not big enough, right? And listen, you're going to invest the same amount of time, you're going to put the same amount of effort into going after a larger market as you would going after a market where there's only 2,000, 3,000 monthly searches. So which one would you rather be in? The one that's going to potentially make you more money, right, or the one that's not? Speaking of that, you guys mind if I deviate really quickly? I want to share a tip with you too. This is something that I'm not covering in this presentation, but it just came to mind. You also, I stay away from seasonal topics, right? I don't want to publish anything that deals with how to bake Christmas cakes or Halloween cookies or anything like that, because again, you're going to put in the same amount of time and effort to publish those types of seasonal ebooks as you would with something that would sell year-round. Does that make sense? Just give me a big yes really quickly if that makes sense. So you want to, we're always thinking smart with this, all right? No, Ruth, competition doesn't matter. Ruth, great question. She says competition level doesn't matter. Not at all. Because, again, your competition, they don't know a tenth of what I'm going to share with you. So competition doesn't matter. Great, great question. Ask your questions, folks. I'm a big believer in the fact that there's no such thing as a dumb question. All right, so the next thing is, right, I talked about, Davida says, what about republishing every year for seasonal? Davida, I've always done much better publishing non-seasonal than seasonal. So you can try it out for yourself if you want, but I'm never publishing seasonal material again. All right, so now, anything less than 10,000, the marketplace is not big enough. It's like having a Ferrari on a dead-end street. You've got all of this potential, but nowhere to go, right? Now, anything greater than 100,000, and the marketplace is just too big, right? It's not niched down enough. It's just too wide. The universe is just too big. So 10,000 to 100,000. Now, here's the other thing. You can use this Google Keyword Planner and some of the results that it's going to give you to come up with some really great titles. You can literally come up with some awesome titles. Look at this. Like this one here, Meaning of Dreams, right? That would make a great book title, partially, right? And I'm going to show you what I mean by partially in just a minute. 18,000 people searching for that. Here's another one, Dreams and Their Meanings, right? Think about that. You've got 590 people that are searching for that, Dreams and Their Meanings. Okay, so you've got some really good potential here. Now, here's what I like to do when I come across some of these titles like this. Obviously, you can't just name your ebook Meaning of Dreams. I mean, that might work, but I like to get a little bit more juicy with it. So I might come over here and I might add something to the subtitle. Like this could be the main title, and then I'll go in and create a subtitle, right? Meaning of Dreams. And I want you guys to work with me on this too. Give me some ideas. Post some of your ideas into the questions box. Meaning of Dreams, right? And then the subtitle might be something like, How to Decipher Last Night's Dream, right? Or this one, Dreams and Their Meanings, hyphen, How to Tell What Last Night's Dream Really Meant, or What Did That Crazy Dream Mean? So give me some suggestions. How would you, what type of subtitle would you throw in there? All right, Lovers in Your Dreams, says Scott. There you go. Dreams and Their Meanings, Lovers in Your Dreams, question mark. Here, Davida has a good one. So Dreams and Their Meanings, what your subconscious is telling you about your life now. I like that, Davida. That's nice. Let's see. Mean Dreams, says Guy. Dreams and Their Meanings, Mean Dreams. Here's one from Walt. Walt says Dreams and Their Meanings were fascinating keys that unlock the meanings of your dreams. Tammy says Dreams and Their Meanings, 13 ways to decipher your dreams. Here's one from Ruth. Ruth says Dreams and Their Meanings, what do your recurring dreams really mean? Here's one from Ann. Annie says, Dreams and Their Meanings, what dreams say about you. That's awesome, too. So you folks really got it. That one wasn't just, being nice to you guys. You guys are smart. I love this. I love this. I love this. All right, so let's continue on. Should we continue? Are we rocking and rolling so far? All right. Dreams money can buy, says Ad. All right. Your meanings of your dreams. Oh, that was actually from Darius. Dreams money can buy. Monsters and nightmares. Monsters and nightmares, says Scott. All right, so let's go. Leroy says, let's keep going. Let's rock and roll. So use this area also to, number one, do your market research, right? And number two, come up with some really killer titles, because Google is giving it all to you. And you're going to see how Google and Amazon tie in together shortly. So let's keep going. So one of the questions that I get is, if you craft your titles correctly, you increase, one of the questions that I actually get is, why do we use this Google Keyword Planner? Why do you put so much emphasis on it? Well, the answer is, if you really go in and use this thing to craft your titles correctly, you increase the chances of them ranking high within both Amazon and Google search engines. And ranking on both of these mammoth properties, right, will dramatically boost your sales. And I want to show you an example of what I'm talking about here. So let's say there's an ebook on Amazon titled How to Market and Sell Your Ebook. How to Market and Sell Your Ebook, right? You have someone that's over on Google and they're unaware that there's already an ebook being sold on this topic. They've published their own book and they're looking for ways to get it out there, right? They're looking for ways to get it in front of more people. So they go over to Google, they type in How to Market and Sell Your Ebook. Look at what happens when we hit search. What comes up here? So what are these right here that we see at the top? Let's see, who's the first one to give it to me here? Let's see, what are these first ones here? They are ads, says Leroy and Kay. Absolutely. So we're conditioned to realize that these are paid ads, right? These people did not organically get their websites ranked. So we kind of gloss over these. But then we come down here, right? We want to look at the organic listings. And how many people are familiar with like SEO, search engine optimization here? Okay. Look at this. So we see this first place listing, right? But take a look at this second place listing. Out of everything here, which of these listings, which result stands out the most, would you say? Number 1, number 2, number 3, or number 4? Amazon, says Leroy. Scott says Amazon. Sherry, Amazon. The one with the stars, says Guy. Leroy, Amazon. Let's see. The Vita, the stars, the 5 stars, says Seth. So now, absolutely, you're absolutely right. That's why, okay, if we go back to when we were in the Google Keyword Planner, we really want to, number 1, use that to research our market, and then number 2, try to use that to come up with some really cool titles that are going to get us ranked in Google, okay? Because this is what happens when you do. And I actually have an entire mini course that I'm going to give away to you guys that talk about how to do this, right? So now, what about this Amazon listing, besides the stars and besides the fact that it says Amazon in the listing, makes this thing really stand out? There's probably about 6 or 7 things that make this one really stand out. What is it? Let's see who gets it. So we said the stars, we said Amazon, what else? The review says Guy, the description says Scott, yes. Review says Ad. Let's see, number of reviews says and, yes, 47 reviews. It has 47 5-star reviews. Very impressive, right? The title says Leroy. The testimonial says Tammy. Do you see that? Like this blurb here, the excitement of the first few chapters builds an incredible momentum. Absolutely. Good one, Tammy. What else? There's a few more things here. The subcategory listing within Amazon says Scott. Yes, look at that. So the subcategories, right? Computers and internet, and then web marketing. The price says Brett. Yes. What else? There's a few more things here. All right. You've got the price says Brett, that $4.99 there. But keyword says Tammy. Yes, right. It's exactly what you typed in. How to market and sell your ebook. What else do we have here? There's one more thing that's standing out. In stock says Brett. That was it. That was it, Brett. All right. So you see all of these different things that Amazon does, and Google allows Amazon to do this, right? Because Amazon's constantly making new content available. And what does Google love more than a site that publishes new content on a regular basis? Nothing, right? So this works in your favor. This stuff gets extremely easy, and that's why I said we don't worry about a competition, because your competition doesn't know this stuff. They're too busy with just being an author, right, and just getting their book out there. They're not thinking about the other stuff that's going to really make their book sell, that's going to give them visibility. I'll tell you one thing here, right? Let me share something with you. One of the biggest lessons that I ever learned about business is that most businesses don't have a product or service problem. They have an obscurity problem. Basically, not enough people know about your product or your service, or in this case, your book. So when you work on that, it's easy to beat anyone. It's easy to beat the majority of people, because most people are worrying about everything else. They're thinking about everything else, right? That's it. Absolutely, Leroy. 99% of it, right? Okay. Now, let's move on. Should we move on here, folks? Are we having fun here? I'm having a blast. I don't know about you guys, but I am excited. You don't get to talk about this stuff with, like, marketing stuff with many people, right? I can't go across the street and talk to my neighbor because he has no idea about this stuff. Okay, so let's keep going. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Very interesting, says Davida. This is great, says Sherry. Fascinated, says Ad. All right? Great info. I love it, says Nancy. Okay? Now, let's rock and roll. Now, so secret number 1 was to use the Google Keyword Planner to find hot topics and to create titles. Boom, we got that. We have that covered, right? Piece of cake. Now, one of the things that I came up with, and I wanted to throw this in here to really give you guys an extra piece of what goes on behind the scenes here. One of the things, remember when Davin was talking about how we travel a lot? Well, there was one cruise one year, I think this was about 4 years ago. We were going to an island, and, well, let me back up. I'm about to really share something with you guys. I hope you don't judge me because of this. But I used to have a really bad problem, an addiction problem. and that addiction was, and just checking my freaking sales. Like, it was so bad, I would log into my Amazon Kindle account literally like 12 or 13 times a day, just checking my sales. Like, oh my God, there's another sale. Oh my God, there's another sale. It got so bad to the point where I would literally wake up in the middle of the night, right, and go down to my office, log into my Amazon account to see how many sales I made while I was freaking sleeping. Like, when you start doing this and you start getting sales, it really becomes both fascinating and addictive. Guy says that's sick, right? So and like it's insane to think that like you're really making money while you're sleeping. Like, it's a beautiful thing, because while it's 3 a.m. for you in your time zone, it might be 10 a.m. for someone out, on the West Coast or in Scotland or Ireland, right? So now, here's one of the things. Okay, so now that I've prefaced it, right? You understand that part of my addiction. One year we were taking a cruise, and Amazon has paid for all of these cruises, all of his travel. We just got back from Thailand. We have 4 children. We took all of our children over to Thailand. We flew to China, and then from China we flew over to Bangkok, and then from Bangkok we stayed there. We stayed for 3 weeks. We stayed a week in Bangkok, Thailand. Then we flew over to Chiang Mai. We stayed a week in Chiang Mai. Then we flew to Phuket, which is like the nice beach area, which is awesome. And we stayed there for a week, rented like really nice houses in each of these locations. And again, Amazon pays for all of this stuff, right? So you're going to be able to do this as well. So now, we were going on a cruise, just about to go on a cruise, and this was one where Davin was on this one as well. And I kind of knew that I wasn't going to be able to check my sales as often as I would when I'm at home. So I wanted to test something out. I went in and I started working on what I call title enhancers. And these are elements that you can add to your titles that literally double and triple sales, right? And when I got back, right, from this cruise, I hadn't been able to check my sales for like 5 days. I got back and I literally saw that my sales for some of my titles had doubled, tripled, and even quadrupled in some cases. So I want to share these elements with you really quickly. And you guys, feel free to write these down as well, and you can use them in your own titles, right? So now, title enhancers that double and triple your sales. Title enhancers actually work so well because they answer the questions that your ebook buyers are asking themselves in their head, right? They answer the questions that your ebook buyers are asking themselves in their head. Now, that's the psychology behind it, right? So now, let me show you some of these things here. So here's a title enhancer, how to, right? So how to, right, stay in your deck like a professional. Imagine you've got 2 books, one on the left titled How to Stay in Your Deck Like a Professional. This is number 1. And then number 2 on the right, Learn to Stay in Your Deck Like a Professional. All right? Now, let me show you, let me give you an example as to why these things work so well. Let's say you have a guy by the name of Johnny. Johnny's been promising his wife that he's going to go out and stay in the deck, right? He's been promising her this for like a year now. It's springtime. It's about 80 degrees outside, and it's a nice sunny Saturday. Johnny's wife gives him an ultimatum. She says, you know what, you're going to go out there, you're going to stay in that deck today, or you're going to sleep on the couch for the next 6 months. Now, Johnny has never stained a deck before, but he is sweating. He knows that he has to get this done. So he picks up his iPhone or his Android, or he picks up his laptop or his tablet, or he goes to his desktop, because Amazon is so smart, they've made the ability to buy ebooks possible from any of these devices. So he goes to his favorite device, and he goes over to Amazon, and he types in stain deck, or how to stain a deck. And he's sweating, right, because he doesn't want to sleep on the couch for the next 6 months, and he's thinking, how am I going to stain this deck? How am I going to stain this deck? How am I going to stain this deck? He comes across these 2 titles. Number 1, on the left, How to Stain Your Deck Like a Professional. Number 2, Learn to Stay in Your Deck on the right. Which one do you think resonates with Johnny the most? Number 1 or number 2? And if you get this, then you really understand the psychology as to why these title enhancers work so well. All right, so let's see. Number 1 says Shabina. I think that's the first time I've heard from you tonight, Shabina. How to says Ann. Number 1 says Kay. Nancy says how to. Annette says number 1. All right. Like a Professional says add. Let's see, number 1 says Tammy. Absolutely. If you said number 1, right? So think about this. If you said how to stain your deck like a professional, you're absolutely right. Because it answers the question that he's asking himself subconsciously in his head. He's wondering, how am I going to get this done? I've never stained a deck before, right? So that's why it works so well. Now, let me give you some more examples of title enhancers. Here's another one here. Quickest way to, right? So adding that phrase, quickest way to your title can increase your sales. You get something like the 21 quickest ways to make money online versus the guide to making money on the web. Or something like this one, fastest way to, right? The fastest way to get your nursing degree versus Health Quad's nursing guide, right? Which seems hard. So these make it seem exciting, whatever you're doing, how to stain your deck like a professional. Quickest way, right? The fastest way. Here's another example, easy ways to, right? Quick and easy ways to lose weight. Here's another one, tips to, the world's best kept tips to losing weight. The reason why, again, these things work so well and they give you that sales boost is because they answer those questions that we're already asking. How am I going to do this quickly? Or what are some easy ways to do it, right? How do I get it done? Okay? So there you go. You take these title enhancers and you mash them up with your titles and just go in and test the stuff and you'll see what happens, all right? Your competition does not know this stuff. That's why you have the edge. What you're learning from this presentation right now is stuff that literally all over the globe I've had people say is the best stuff that they've ever seen. And it's helped them to make the most amount of money with their publishing, right? So let's continue. Here's what I like to do now. I like to take my idea and one of these title enhancers. So I like to take the keyword that I'm considering publishing an ebook around as well as the title enhancer and mash them up. So in this case, we've got how to. Can you folks see this? And then we've got the keyword garden, right? I mash them up, put them into my Kindle, my Google Keyword Planner, and then I hit search. Now, Google will tell us for the phrase how to garden, take a look at the monthly search volume. There were 45.5 million global monthly searches conducted for that phrase. Now, let me ask you a question, folks. Is that within our desired search criteria? Give me a yes or no. Yes or no. Let's see. Leroy says no, definitely says Sherry. Yes says Tammy. No says Kay. No says Scott. Nancy says no. Jim says no. Davita says no. Right? Glad to be here, says Ty says Kimberly. Glad to have you here. Kimberly, I like that. That was different to throw in there, but that's awesome. Annette says no. Yes says Guy. You said 10,000 to 100,000, Kay. Kay was listening. I like that. Too broad, says Leroy. So was Leroy. All right? So, Tammy got a kick out of that, I guess. So now, no, absolutely right. If you said no, you're right. It's too broad. Luckily for us, Google gives us other phrases, right, that we can take a look at. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, and let's look at these. How to make a garden, right? 201,000 global monthly searches. How to design a garden, 550,000 global monthly searches, right? How to build a raised garden bed, 12,000 global monthly searches. How to plant a garden, 301,000 global monthly searches. So which one here would work best? Number 1, number 2, number 3, or number 4? Give it to me really quickly in the questions box. I got to tell you, folks, while you're adding your numbers in here, I'm having a ball. I think this is one of the best presentations that I've ever done, and it's because of the energy of this group. That really, really helps. When you have this type of energy, it makes the presenter want to really give you as much as possible. And that's where I'm at now. All right, so I love it. I love it. I love it. Keep it coming. All right, so let's see. What do we have? We've got number 3 from Scott, Seth, Sherry, Nancy, Ken said number 3, Tammy, Davita, how to build a raised garden, says Kay. Number 3 says add, Louise, Monica, Lewis. Henrietta says number 2, it's between the 10 and 100,000, says Kay. Number 3 says Emma. Let's see. I'm glad to be on this webinar and to hear you say that, says Leroy. Absolutely, I love it. All right, so now, here's the thing. Give yourself a pat on the back if you said number 3, how to build a raised garden bed. Like that one, that's just perfect. Like number 3 is just perfect in so many ways. Number 1, as you just mentioned, it's within our desired search criteria. So 10,000 to 100,000. Pat, says Scott. All right. So yeah, absolutely. So it's between 10,000 to 100,000. But what are some other reasons why this one is just awesome? There's a few more reasons too. And I'm testing you folks because I believe that it's just like when we were in school, right? The more you participated, the more you got this. Okay, the more you participated, the more you got this. It's defined. More precise, says Claude. Scott said defined. How to, says Lisa. It tells you how to. It's got that title enhancer, right, says Sherry. More specific, says Guy. And sells for resales and foreclosures, Tammy. I'm not sure where that came from. Long chain, says Leroy. It's narrow, says Ken. Niche down, says Leroy. Absolutely. Look at this. How to build a raised garden bed. So it has our title enhancer, and it's very niched, right? Very niche. You're not just talking about how to build a garden bed, but this is a raised garden bed. So this would make an excellent title here, right? Think about this. When I was first putting this together, I didn't even notice this, but that would make an awesome ebook title. How to build a raised garden bed. How to build a raised garden bed. And then we could even go in and add a subtitle to this. So something like how to build a raised garden bed in a weekend, right? So give me a couple of ideas. I'm going to take a sip of my root beer here, right? I love root beer here. It's got no caffeine in it, and it's just good. The only thing I don't like about root beer is that it's got 43 grams of sugar. I just noticed that. So I'm not going to be drinking a root beer for any time soon. So let's see. What type of a subtitle would you be adding to this thing? How to build a raised garden bed in a weekend, or how to build a raised garden bed for Japanese tomato gardens, or how to build a raised garden bed that your neighbors will envy, right? How to build a raised garden bed on your apartment deck, says Lisa. In a small area, says Kay. Quickly and simply, says Nancy. Let's see, what else? In a day, says Leroy. That produces 10 times more, says Scott. I like that. With 10 types of veggies, says Rosina. I love that name. That's an awesome name. I've never heard that before, Rosina. Is it Rosina? Is that how you pronounce it? Easiest way, says Louise. That the deer won't eat, says Ann. There you go. You're thinking. All right, let's see. Build the best raised garden bed, says Claude. Based on Google search, says Tammy. Oh, according to Wife's Design, says Guy. That's a smart guy there. How to build a raised garden bed on a budget, says Seth. For your roses, says Kay. That works year-round. Low cost and beautiful, says Nancy. Using containers and recycled items. There you go. Awesome, Davida. I love it. So you folks got it. You folks got it here. Now, shall we continue? I've got a lot more stuff that I want to show you. Give me a big yes if you want to continue. Yes, 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 yay, yes. Yes, 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 says, who's that? Nancy. We've got yeses from Annette, Ann, Henrietta, Lisa. Rock and roll, says Seth. Hell yes, says Leroy. Yes, yes, exclamation point, says Emma. Otis says yes. All right, so let's do it. The yeses have come in. Now, don't tell my wife that I gave this one away. How to build a raised garden bed, right? This is perfect. 12,000. As a matter of fact, listen, do you think that if you had an ebook, right, published on Amazon that was titled How to Build a Raised Garden Bed, and you had 12,000 people that on average search for that topic every month, do you think you would sell some? Absolutely. It'd be like taking kid from a candy, kid from a baby, kid from a candy, kid from a baby. Scott says at least 1%, right? When you do this stuff and when you add all of the other components, even more, so a lot more, right? So that's when you have, listen folks, really quickly, I just want to deviate again. The most successful businesses, right, online or offline, have learned to utilize systems. All right? So have you noticed something here, right, that we literally have systematically gone through each of these steps. That's why this works so well, and it doesn't just work so well for me, but that's why it works so well for my students. Because when I put this system together, I said it's got to be paint by numbers easy, and it's got to be systematic so that anyone can take it, right? My 13-year-old was able to take this, the steps that I'm giving you in this course, and do well with it. So think about that. Whether it's this, something like this, Kindle Publishing, or anything else, get the systems in place, because then it's easy to duplicate the success. That's why McDonald's does so well. They can take the pimple-faced 16-year-old and put him on a fry machine, and then they can come in and take a 40-year-old that's got a PhD, double master's or whatever it is, and put him or her on a fry machine, and they'll both get the same results because they have the right systems in place. So, and I know that's outside of this presentation, but again, because you're part of Davin's tribe, I wanted to really, I just wanted to share that with you because that's what works so well for me, right? And it works so well for folks like Davin. And if you look at all of the other successful marketers, it works very well for them as well. It's not that we're any smarter than you folks. We just have the right systems in place, right? So absolutely, let's go. All right, so now, secret number 2, right? We gave you secret number 1. Secret number 2 is there's 3 ways to get your ebooks created super fast, even if you hate writing. In my preferred order, there are 3 very simple ways to get content to sell, and I've used all 3 of these. All are extremely easy to do, even if you're a newbie to all of this, because we have the right systems in place, right? So number 1 is to get someone else to write it for you. Now, this is the option that I use the most, and I paid as little as $125 to have people write content for me. This is content where you own 100% of the rights to it. You own 100% of the rights to it, right? And you can resell it as long and as often as you want. You can even put your own name on it. You can put a pen name on it, like James Patterson, right? We spoke about him earlier. And, right, you own the byline to it, okay? Everything. It's yours. Now, there's 3 sites that you should use when looking to have someone write your content. And in this program, I give you those 3 sites. I've literally tested dozens of them, right? So the second way to get content written is to speak it yourself, then have it transcribed. All right, so there's literally just tons of speech recognition programs out there like Dragon Naturally Speaking. There's on every PC, there's a free speech recognition program. And then you have Max, right, with Siri and things like that. So you can use that. And then you can go on an outsourcing site and have someone transcribe it for you. So that's the second way. Right? The third way is you can write it yourself. Not my favorite, but I know we have a lot of authors and writers that are on this presentation. My wife is a writer, and she can literally crank out an ebook like in no time flat. I've got a good friend of mine, Michael, who's also a writer, and he can crank out an ebook in like 3 to 4 days. All right? So he does really well with this stuff. And so those are the 3 ways to get it done. Now, you know what? Let me step back here. Do you guys mind if I deviate one more time? Right? I probably should. I want to show you one of the sites that I use to go in and get my content outsourced on. To go in, if you're okay with that. I know I don't want to take up a ton of time here, but if you're okay with that, let me know if you guys want to see this. If you want it, we'll let you vote. If you want to see one of the sites that I use to go in and hire outsourcers and ghostwriters, then give me a big yes or something like that. If not, say skip it and we'll move on. All right, so let's see. Yep, let's see it, says Scott. Yes, says Annette. Monica, yes, please, says Emma. Says Jim. Of course, says Terry. Let me see, says Brett. Yes. Can we have 2, says Kay. Go for it. I'm all ears, says Ed. Absolutely. Wow, I love this crowd. I love the energy here. Of course, says Victoria. So, because Victoria wants to see it, let's do it. Let's do it. All right, so let's go out. I'm going to jump out of the presentation. This is one of the sites that I use here. It's guru.com or Juru, depending on how you want to pronounce it here. You say tomato, I say tomato, right? Let's go. So I'm going to sign in. Let's see if I can sign in using this computer. I've never signed in from this computer again before. So let's see if it lets me. All right. Is it going to? There we are. We're in. So now, Can you see the screen? Let me know if you can see the screen, or should I adjust it a bit? Maybe I can adjust it a little bit. You should be able to see it a little bit better. All right, perfect. All right, a little bigger P says K. It's good. All right. So okay, you should be able to see it now because I just made it a bit bigger. So now, as you can see, right? So I literally publish content of all types, fiction and nonfiction. Here's a post that I put up for a 25-page romance story that I need written, a 25-page day trading report, a 25-page mystery thriller, novel, a 25-page personal development ebook. So as you can see, right, I've got 18 quotes on this one, 14 quotes on that one, 7 quotes on this one. 13 quotes here, 13 here. So this is one of the sites. All right, here, we're just going to go nuts. We're going to go wild and crazy. Who wants to see how I post one of these things? Like, who wants to see how, what type of a description I go in and add to these things and how I line them up and stuff like that? Do you want to see that stuff, or should we go back? Like, are you guys getting a lot from this? Like, let me know if you're getting some good material out of this or not, because, all right, here we go. All right, okay, we're going to do it. Which one? Do we go for romance? Do we go for day trading? Do we look at the mystery thriller listing, or do we look at the personal development listing? Scott says, I'm getting rich with this stuff. All right? All freaking some, says Claude. I love it. I love it. I love it. Getting loads, says that. So interesting, says Terry. Great idea, says Annette. Keep it going. Perfect, says Nancy. So which one do we jump into here? Romance? Let's see. Mel says thriller. Romance, says Scott. Mystery, says Rosina. Very interesting and motivating, says Jim. Thriller, says Claude. Personal development, says Davida. This is great. Thrillers, please. Romance, says Sabina. Personal development, says Sherry. Personal development. Wow, a lot of people want personal development. Personal development, says Annette. Personal development, says Nancy. Personal development, says Brett. Personal development, says Henrietta. Day trader, says Kay. Trading, says Louise. So let's go with the personal development. So many people want to see that. I'm going to open this up. Personal development, says Scott. All right, so let's check it out here. Let's take a look here and see what comes up here. All right, so now let's go in and jump in. Now, look at some of the quotes really quickly that come in. You'll see one that says 250, one that says 200. You got some on the low end that says 25 bucks, 100 bucks, 100 bucks here, 200 bucks, 100 bucks, right? So now, when you're going in and selecting someone to write this content, it's just like Amazon. Look at the reviews and the ratings, right, really quickly. I'm not going to go into a ton of detail, but I want to share it with you. Let's also look at the posting. So what I'll do is I'll put the title up front, as you saw earlier, and then I'll also go in and I'm going to write out a description that works extremely well for me and my students. I always share this with my students in our Facebook group. Let me open it up some so you can see it. I'm going to enlarge it here. So it says, I'm looking to hire someone in the U.S., U.K., Australia, Canada, South Africa, Jamaica, or Puerto Rico. Why am I choosing these countries, right, even though Puerto Rico is part of the U.S., right? Why am I choosing these countries? To write a 25-page report on the subject of personal development. I need this done ASAP. Please state how quickly you can get it done. I put this in, right, because I want to see how quickly they respond back to me. That's an indicator as to how responsive your ghostwriter is going to be, all right? I'm looking for content similar to what you would find in a book like this. So then I give them a sample. Let's open this book up. You want to see this bad boy here? So I give them an example of what I want to model my ebook after, right? So there you go. Now, here's the thing. I tell them I'm only looking for unique content, meaning nothing that you turn in should be plagiarized or stolen from other sources, especially the book that we include above, right? Now, I want to point this out because people tend to think based on a scarcity mindset. I've never had someone turn in plagiarized material. I've used dozens of writers. I've always had great people, honest people, ethical people, all right, turn in great material, high quality stuff. Now, I go on to say that link is only for your reference, and to give you an idea of what we're looking for, we will check, all right? The report needs to be 25 pages of high-quality, entertaining content, no fluff, no filler. You only want to publish good stuff to this, guys. This is a business, ladies and gents, that will make you money for years and years and years and years on end. So you don't want to do anything to jeopardize it by publishing crap, right? build this business on the concrete, not on the sand. And then I go on to say when bidding, so that I know that you actually took the time to read this post and are not blindly bidding, please mention the words Jimmy Buffett, who's one of my favorite singers, by the way. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. The finished project must be written in Times New Roman 10-point font and no more than half-inch margins all the way around. So we're getting into the detail here, right? No double spacing. At the very beginning, the story must include 1 to 2 paragraph summary of what it is about, as well as 12 to 15 bullet points of what is covered. Why do I ask for this? Right? Put it in the questions box. Why do I ask for this? The finished report must be a Word doc. We will own all rights to the completed work once you are fully paid. We actually need several types of these reports, including one. Why do I do this too? Take a look at this. We actually need several types of these reports, including one on productivity. So if the quality of your work is great and your prices and turnaround time are fair, we will hire you for all 10 or so projects. Why do I do that? Why do I say, hey, you've got to be in the U.S. or Australia, Canada, South Africa, etc.? Why do I say, respond back by mentioning the words Jimmy Buffett? Why do I say we need several of these things and we'll hire you for everything if your work is good and if your turnaround time is good and if your prices are great, right? Why do I ask for a 1 to 2 paragraph summary that has 12 to 15 bullet points? This is the juice, folks. I didn't share this. I'm not sharing this with anyone else, right? But again, because you're part of Davin's tribe, you get the juice, right? And because you're just an awesome freak. You see what happens when the energy is high, right? Like when you're there, you just put the presenter in that state that makes them want to just share everything with you. It's the law of reciprocity, right? How many people are familiar with that? So now, let's see. You are setting the standard, says Davida. There you go. We're a great group, says Sherry. All right? Absolutely. Seth says if the free content is good, the paid content has to be amazing. Absolutely. Right? No judgment, says Sherry. Good. I'm glad you didn't judge me there. Okay, Ann, great question. Ann says, how does Guru compare with Fiverr, which is where I got my Illustrator and Formatter? So, great question, Ann. Getting an illustrator or a graphic designer or a formatter from Fiverr is perfect. There's nothing wrong with that. I would not hire someone to write my content and find that person off of Fiverr, all right? Because, again, this is you want to build this business on a concrete. You want to publish some good, high-quality stuff. Does that make sense? Okay, cool. Got it. All right, now, let's keep rocking and rolling. Is this good stuff, guys? Good stuff? All right, Davin only has fabulous people, says Nancy. There you go. That's good information, says Sherry. Yes. All right, let's continue rocking and rolling here. Because I still got a ton of stuff I want to share with you here. Now, secret number 3, right? How to publish and launch your Kindle ebooks quickly and easily, and start making sales. Most importantly, right? So this literally takes about 5 minutes to both create your Kindle Publishers account as well as add books to it. Amazon has made it easy. Now, I want to ask you a question here. Who remembers when Amazon first got started many, many years ago? What was their original intention? When they first got started, before they started selling like label printers and stamps and vitamins and trail mix and root beer soda, right, and pens and everything else, what was their initial purpose? To sell books. I think it was books, says Kay. Sell books, says Gear. I think it was just books, says Sherry. Right, but most importantly, what was their ultimate goal? It was books, yes, but what was their ultimate goal? Who is going to get this one? Let's see. What do we got here? Chief, says Brett. I don't know if that's mainly it. That might have been part of it. Biggest online retailer, says Leroy. Yes, but let's be more specific. Biggest what? The world's largest what? To be a worldwide marketplace, the world's largest bookstore, says Leroy. Absolutely. All right. Before they got started and selling everything else that you can get, they wanted to be the world's largest bookstore, says Liz. Right? The world's largest bookstore. Now, they realized that they couldn't do that with competition like, the competition that some of their competitors have been around for decades, right? And almost centuries. But they had competitors like, give me some of their competitors. They had like Waterstone, which I think is over in the UK, right? Barnes & Noble, says Leroy. What else? Who else? They had Books A Million, right? says Rhonda. They had Borders, says Steph. They had Virgin Music and Books, which was up in New York. I remember going there as a teenager on my way to school. They had Powell's, says Davida, right? So all of these stores, Powell's, Borders, Barnes & Nobles, McKinley, says Jer, right? All of these stores were their competitors. And they realized that in order to be the largest, we need more content. They realized that content is king. And more importantly, that content is cash. Right? That's why you don't want to just publish 1 or 2 ebooks, because content is cash. Follow Amazon's lead. And what they did was brilliant. They said, okay, how can we get more content than any of our competitors, even our more established competitors? Oh, I got it. We can create a digital publishing platform, and we can allow anyone with content to come in and make their content available to our huge audience. They came up with the Kindle, as Kay said. Absolutely. So they opened up the doors for everyone, says Leroy. All right? Everyone. So that is what they did. Now, and they did it to the point where you can literally be on any, you could be from any country and publish. I've got students that are doing great and they're smashing it. That are in Canada, that are in the UK, that are in Spain, Italy, Switzerland. I've got a couple of ladies in Russia that are killing it. Mexico, Australia, where, South Africa. Folks that are literally spread out across the planet that are killing it with this. Okay? Leroy says they used the Uber model before Uber was created. Okay? Now, how many people have ever ordered from Amazon before? How many people have ever, put a big yes, because I want you to see who your marketplace is. Give me a big yes. I had an Amazon order come in today. I ordered, me and my daughter, my 9-year-old Summer, we ordered Uno, right? So as soon as I get off of this presentation, we're going to go and play Uno. Of course, of course. Now, is there anyone who hasn't? That's a better question, says Rosina. Absolutely, right? So now, Amazon has 500 million credit card numbers on file. So that's the audience that you're getting placed in front of. Now, so we realized that Amazon's #1 goal was to become the planet's largest bookstore, and in order to accomplish that, they needed content from folks like you, right? Davida, Kay, Lisa, Henrietta, Ann, Ad, Rosina, Emma, Jer, Nancy, Monica, right? And everyone else that's out there. They needed content from individuals like me. And they realized that in order to make this publishing arena easy, they had to do 2 things. #1, they had to make it super easy so that anyone can go in and upload an ebook. And #2, they had to make it free. Now, do you think they did those things just because they're nice, like nice people? What do you think? No, absolutely not. They did that because, all right, they want to make money. Now, here's the other thing. Write this down, right? Write this down. This is going to be one of the most fascinating things that you've probably written down all night, outside of some of the other instruction that you've got. Amazon, write this down. Amazon will give me 70% of the sales. Amazon, that's why I check my sales so often, because Amazon gives you, as long as your ebook is priced between $2.99 and $9.99, Amazon gives you 70% of the sales. 70% of the sales. Now, there's a lot of you, okay, that have published ebooks. There's a lot of you that are authors. And you really, I mean, think about that. The traditional publishing industry doesn't even give you a fraction of that. You'd be lucky if you get 5%, okay? But they're giving you 70%. How many people have ever done any type of affiliate marketing, right? In traditional affiliate arenas, you'll be lucky if you get 45, 40, 50%. Okay, so they're giving you 70% and they keep 30%. So that means if you make $10,000 in sales, let's come with a smaller number. If you sell $1,000 worth of ebooks, easy to do, especially with them having 500 million customers with credit card numbers on file. When you think about it that way, and a huge number, it becomes a lot easier for you to sell. But with them having 500 million credit card numbers on file, it becomes extremely easy, right, for you to make money with this and to sell ebooks. And if you sell $1,000 worth, they keep $300 and they give you $700. Okay, so now let's continue. Let's rock and roll. So you create your Amazon publishing account. You upload your ebooks, both of which take about 5 to 10 minutes to do each, and then your ebook is now available for sale. Right? It's published on Amazon and ready to make you money. People can literally go in and click this buy now with one click button, and you get paid, they get the ebook. It's that awesome. Okay, now once you publish, it's easy to just to crank up the sales. Here's some of the things that you do. You go in, all right? You can tweak elements like your titles, your price points, your descriptions, your covers, and you go back and repeat the process and you publish more ebooks. Now here's another secret, right? I do really, really well publishing sequels. So we've got volume 1, volume 2, volume 3, right? Or the continuation of 1, 2, 3. Because if they're interested in that first ebook, what else? They want to go in and read more similar to it. It's just like a television series. You watch the pilot or you watch the first series, and if you like it, you're going to be back next week. Same thing with ebooks, guys. Very simple. When you have the right systems in place, it's easier to do well. And then if needed, you can always go back and change these elements after you launch your book, right? You can always go back and change the title, the price points, the description. You can even change your covers, all right? So now, here's the thing. Let's review really quickly. Here's what we've covered so far. Secret number 1, how to come up with a best-selling book idea in 3 minutes, even if you've never done anything like this before. Secret number 2, 3 ways to get your ebooks created super fast, even if you hate writing. Secret number 3, how to publish and launch your Kindle ebooks quickly and easily so that you can start making sales. Now, is anyone starting to feel excited about this? I get excited my wife says it's hard to tell. She says it's hard to tell when I'm excited about anything, except for when I talk about split testing and when I talk about Amazon Kindle publishing. She says those are the only 2 things that I can tell when you're super excited, right? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Like Amazon has created this amazing lifestyle for us. So it's Ad says I'm getting butterflies here. Scott says I'm super excited. Power to the people, says Gary. Let's see. Sure, I'm excited. You're passionate about the science about it, says Leroy. There you go. So here, super excited. Not only do I get excited for myself, right, but I get excited when I see deposits like this come in. I also get excited when I hear from my students and I get text messages like this from a guy who, you know, is making $5,000 a month and he sees the possibility and now his goal is to get to $10,000 a month. I get excited when I hear from my new students, like this young lady, Tracy Royster, who I think she's about 56 years old or so like that. She's out in Seattle and she just got started, right? And literally just a day or 2 later, has already sold 5 copies of your book. She's never published anything on Amazon before. So this gets me excited. I love this right here. This is what makes me roll. All right? I don't need the money. I'll take the money, but I don't need the money. Right? I've done extremely well in life, but this is what I love right here. So, and I love getting testimonials like this, where he says, Ty, over the last year, I've continued to follow the Kindle cash flow system, and I'm now doing $20,000 per month in sales. It tickles me to death to know that there's a guy over in Australia who just a few years ago was on the verge of bankruptcy, right? And he's now making $20,000 per month in sales because of this system that I've created that is systematized, right? And that he's across the globe. That is just amazing to me. It's just as amazing as being able to wake up at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning and see that there's money that has been made because someone on the other side of the planet has purchased my ebook, right? Or someone who's an insomniac is up purchasing ebooks. So think about this. How many ebooks do you need using the system that I've created where we talk about the research, the titles, the descriptions, and the price points, and outsourcing it all, where on average you can generate about $500 a month in sales per ebook. How many ebooks do you need, right? Imagine having 5, 10, or 20 ebooks that are all bringing in monthly income. And then you do that work once and your ebooks sell for months and years to come, and you're really generating residual income. And you're tied into a multi-billion-dollar company like Amazon, where you get paid not once, but you're getting paid over and over and over again. I have ebooks that I published 6.5 years ago, right, that are still making me money to this day. It's like insane. It's insane to know that I can go and take my family to Disney World based off of an ebook that I published 6 years ago that's still making me residual income. Like, this is not stuff that we're taught in school, right? So, you know, I heard Dr. Wayne Dyer say something that really made sense. It's pretty simple, and it's more than just a play on words, but he said, when you change the way you look at things, the things that you look at start to change. I thought that was very profound, right? Because when we start to look at life in a way where we're going from exchanging an hour's worth of work for an hour's worth of pay to something like, I do this work one time and it might take me a couple of hours, but I'm going to get paid multiple times over and over and over and over again. That's the difference, right? Right? Davida says Dr. Wayne Dyer was so right. Great quote, says Darius. Right? Sai says, is this live or recorded? Nobody is answering. Sai, I think I just said Sal Johnson. Right? I just answered you. Gio says, I'm 70 years and now convinced I can make this. Absolutely. Absolutely. My mom is 77 and I've got her doing this stuff. 77. All right? So, how much money do you need to make a difference in your life? Here, we've been really transparent with each other. All right? Sal says he was chatting in the wrong chat. Okay, well, that makes sense. How much money do you need to make a difference in your life? We've been really transparent, really honest with each other. I'm not going to call your name out, but I'm just curious. Put this into the questions box. How much do you need? Is an extra $500 going to make a difference? An extra $1,000? An extra $10,000? An extra $1,000? Okay? Let's see. So we've got someone who says 2,000, 2,000. We've got someone who says 15,000. We've got three people that said 10,000. Another person that says 5,000, 3,000 to 4,000. Says someone else 8,000. Let's see. Sal, yes and no. We've got sky's the limit. We've got 5,000 from someone else. We've got 10,000 would do it. An extra £2 from someone else who must be in the UK there. Anything makes a difference. It's additional. 25,000 to hire a full-time team from Davin. What is this? Someone else says 1,000, 5 to 10,000. Everything over 2,000 would make a difference. 10 to 25. We've got 25K from someone else. All right, perfect. I love the answers. Thank you for that. Thank you for taking the time out and for being transparent. How could this change your life, folks? What would you do with the extra income? Would you put it towards your kids' future, right? Like our kids, their college is already paid off. We have 2 teenagers that are in college right now. My 18-year-old, because she's done this since she was 13, her tuition is paid from her Amazon residuals. Isn't that a beautiful thing? Like, imagine being able to teach. You're probably right now in your household, you're probably the only individual that's interested in entrepreneurship. Taking that wild guess, more than likely, right? Yes, and it sucks. Absolutely. No one gets you. No one understands you. But if you get to the point where you can teach them something similar or simple like this, and it's Amazon-based, people like the fact that Amazon brings credibility. That's why your books will sell so well once you use what I teach on how to get them listed in Google, right? So it'll work with your family as well. If you get them this program, you bring them in on it, and I've tried everything with my wife and my kids, everything before. And they didn't gravitate towards anything but this because it's a recognizable brand, okay? Put it towards your kid's future, right? Use it to pay off your mortgage, all right? Like I said, I bought my mom this house cash, all right? Buy a house, buy your dream house, pay off bills, get out of debt. We have no debt here, folks, except for our monthly recurring bills like the light bill and things like that. We have no debt, all right? Travel the globe. We've literally been all over the place, right? Not as many places as Davin, but we've been all over the globe, right? From China to Singapore to Thailand to all over the Caribbean, the Maldives, I mean, everywhere. Would you donate to charities? I have sickle cell anemia, as I said, so I donate to the National Sickle Cell Anemia Association on a regular basis. I also donate to a lot of children's hospitals and St. Jude and things like that on a regular basis because I know what it's like to be an individual that is in need. Okay? Okay? So there you go. Guy says, how can you get your family to believe you can make money on the internet? Well, you start doing it yourself, and this makes it easy. So you start doing it yourself, and then you start to make a couple of $100, a couple of $1,000, and then they have no choice but to believe. You log into, and this is how I did it for my wife, because my wife would go with me to seminars and conferences, and she didn't believe. She knew that this stuff was paying the rent, the mortgage, right? But she didn't believe. Okay, so you let them log into your Amazon account, and you show them these checks and these deposits, and then they'll believe. Right, so now, let me ask you a question. For past hour, would you say that it's been worth it? That it's been time well spent? And let's be honest here, all right? Obviously, I can't cover everything that you need in a 90-minute presentation, although I tried to pack as much as I could here. I'm actually getting hoarse. I've never talked so much before, but again, I love the energy of this group here. All right, so now, I've created a special offer, and because Davin is a good friend, but even more so, right, he really talked me down on this one to a point where I was actually not going to show up tonight, to be honest with you, but he really talked me down, and I'm glad that he did because I love, and like I said, it's not about the money for me, I love the energy with you guys, all right, so I've created an extra. I wish I could put an extra right here because I've created an extra special offer so that you can get everything that you need to know. And if you act fast, I'm going to give you a very special deal. All right, I've actually cut this thing down half price for just this group, no one else, but just this one because Davin, 5 minutes before we got started, he said, Bud, and you know how Davin talks. He's like, Bud, can you really do me a favor here? Give these guys like something extra special. You know, and I'll make it up to you. So is it okay if I help you and share with you what I've got here, the entire whole enchilada? All right, the entire enchilada, whole enchilada. I said enchilada. There you go. You can tell I'm not a big fan of Mexican food, right? So I realize that old habits die hard, right? We watch a webinar, we go to a seminar or a conference, we get around a group of inspiring individuals. We're psyched up, we're prepared, we're ready to go for the moment. But what happens? That excitement, as soon as we leave the webinar, a day later, 2 days later, it dies off. And I realize that. Like, I watch a lot of webinars as well, and I watch where a lot of these guys, they don't give you any type of hand-holding, they don't give you any type of support. It's like once you buy the program, like, that's it. Like, I don't get that. Like, what is it about that? So I said, I never want to create that type of culture. So we created a support system where we're right there with you, day by day. We created a Facebook group where we literally have 1,000 people that are in this Facebook group that are all getting results. Some that are just starting out, just as you were just starting out. And then we have someone like Darren DeVry that are making $22,000 a month. So you've got people that are doing well, and all of them, this is the good part, all of them are going through this program. So we're each other's accountability partners. I'm in there answering questions. I have coaches that are answering questions, and we have hundreds and hundreds of students that are in there helping each other. So you'll be thrilled to know that I put together this Kindle Castro 2.0 program that helps you to do all of this. Now, this is not my $20,000 program. All right, I'm actually not even taking any more students for this because I've got 7 students now that have paid me $20,000 to be part of this program. But this is not this, right? Where you pay $20,000 plus 10% of your royalties up to $100,000. This is a home study course where you actually get access to it online. You'll be able to get access to it within like the next 10 to 15 minutes, so you can dive in. You can come into the Facebook group and introduce yourself and start to see like everyone that's in there. You get to actually see what I do in this program, look over my shoulder, see what I do and why I do it, as well as the results that I get as I do this stuff, all right? We cover everything. So what you get in this program is you actually get the setup, which is a $997 value. We cover setting up your account, how to get started quickly, what not to do so that you don't get banned. You also get the Kindling for Profits module, which is a $1,497 value. And this covers finding like the right niche and readers. We go into detail on that. I was a little bit limited because I had so much that I wanted to jam pack into this webinar. But I go into how to find niches that sell and readers that buy. You also get the biomagnet module, which is a $2,997 value. And in this module, I cover the critical must-have elements that will make your ebook sell. We talk about price points and descriptions and reviews and how to set all of this stuff up the right way. So you get all of that. You also get the KDP cast extraction module. And in this module, I give you all of the secret ways to use the Kindle Direct Publishing platform to make more money than most people ever will, simply because they don't know what it is that you know here, right? And this is a $3,500 value, right? So total value of everything is $8,991. It's actually a lot more than that, but I hate when you get on these webinars and they put these overinflated values. As I said, I've got people that are paying me $20,000 to walk them hand by hand doing this stuff, right? But like I said, I'm not a big fan of these overinflated values. So this is actual stuff that you're getting here. Now, fast action bonus for just the first 10 people only. I don't want to work with everyone. I've got to be honest with you. I'm very picky and choosy about who I work with. So just the first 10 people are going to get in on this bad boy here. So fast action bonus number 1 is the Google Kindle Crunch, where we cover getting your ebook listed and how to do that, how to get it listed in Google, right? And how this will increase your sales big time. This is where 30% of my sales come from. So if I do 12,000 in sales, 4,000 will come from what I teach in this module, right? If I do 30,000 in sales, 10% will come from what I teach in this module, right? This is a $1,997 value. This is like the holy grail right here. You'll also get the money multiplicity module. This covers how to publish the same content. So here we're leveraging other platforms. So you'll be able to take the same content that you publish to Kindle, and you'll be able to publish it to the Barnes & Noble's Nook Press platform and the Apple iBookstore platform, tripling your ebooks exposure. Remember at the beginning where I deviated a little bit and I said that most people, they don't have a product or service problem. They have a obscurity problem, meaning not enough people know about their product or service. So this shows you how to literally multiply your ebooks exposure by making it available on these other 2 platforms as well. That's a $997 value. Now, you'll also get this fast action bonus. You'll get your own virtual assistant, right, for 40 hours. Actually costs me real money, and this person can help you with researching topics, coming up with title ideas, writing out descriptions, communicating with your writer, or anything else that you can think of, including working on some of your other businesses. Now, you'll also get access to our private Facebook group, right? This is where I said the hand-holding begins right here. This is where you're never left alone, because I never want you to I buy programs, and like I said, I can't believe that some of these guys don't offer support. It's like once they get your money, it's like bye-bye. What is that about? So we have this Facebook group where you actually come in, you collaborate with not only does myself, and totally improve. Much great. Absolutely awesome. All right? Same thing, Rosina. And totally different, right? You get into this Facebook group where you get to ask questions, you get to get updates, you get to share ideas, you get to brainstorm, you get to get help, okay? And mostly videos, Liz, over the shoulder, right? So yes, you get to look over my shoulder. So you get to join this. I'm a big believer in the fact that I got a chance to meet Tony Robbins a couple of years ago, about 4 years ago, and he says, you know what, the biggest key to being successful is surrounding yourself with successful people. So you get to get access to this private Facebook group where you can see how successful people think, right? Now, you also get just so much more with this. Now, I had 2 options here. The first was to go as cheap as possible, and because of Davin, I literally, like I said, I slashed my price in half, right? And the second option was to one that requires a little higher investment, but in exchange, I'm able to devote more resources to guarantee you success. Now, you're going to get the super low price, but you're still getting all of the resources here. And if you got to a point where, like my student Darren DeVry, you're making $20,000 a month, would it make sense to pay $5,000 for something like this? Now, you're not going to pay anywhere near $5,000, not even a fraction of that. If you did, though, right, and you're making $20,000 a month, every sale after that would be pure profit, right? Now, remember, I'm only looking to work with 10 people, so I'm going to give you this URL. You want to be extremely fast when you put it into your browser. And once you get your order in, put the words "I'm in" the questions box so I know who came in and in what order they came in. I know who's number 1, number 2, number 3. So again, when I give you this URL on the next page, not the next one, but the next page, type it in quickly, get your order in, and then put in the words "I'm in" so I know who came in first, second, third, fourth, fifth, all the way up to number 10. We're only taking 10 people, so be very fast. All right, now, with everything that you get coupled with the earnings potential, you can see why this program is a good deal at $5,000 if I sold it at $5,000. Normally, right, I sell it for $1,997. Today only, and this is not like some trick. I'm not into that craziness. Like I said, I don't need the money. I'll take the money, but I don't need it. You're going to get it for a quarter of this, right? Because Davin really worked out a deal for you. So you can get started right now for just $497 if you're one of the first 10 to take action and get in. $497 by going to 30dayprofits.com. Again, that's 30dayprofits.com. We literally, all right? Yes, that is ad. Yes. All right. We've got a lot of people saying "I'm in." All right. But here, go place your order first before you say "I'm in," because I want to make sure that your order has come in. So I'm going to put the URL into the chat box. All right. Henrietta says, "I am in." Wow, Henrietta, that was fast. How did you do that so quickly? I'm curious. Seriously, in all seriousness, how did you place your order so quickly? That must be a world record there. So there's the URL. I just typed it in, all right? 30dayprofits.com. We still have a ton of content to cover, so don't go anywhere. I want to share some more stuff with you here. Thank you for great content, says Davida. Rhonda says, "I am in." Rhonda, good to have you there as well. Good to have you in. Make sure you come in and say hi in a Facebook group, okay? Let's see. Who else do we have now? Let's continue here. As you folks are putting in your orders, again, it's 30dayprofits.com. We have, and if you have questions, right, we are going to have a very intensive Q&A session, so stick around. I'm going to answer every single question as well. Rebecca says, "I am in." Good to have you in, Rebecca. We've got 3 in so far. Let me start to write these down. We've got Henrietta. All right, we've got Rhonda. We have Rebecca. Okay, here's a testimonial from my student Darren DeVry before he even got started big time. He says, he sent me this email. He says, "Ty, this has been my best month so far with 258 sales to date with only 3 titles. I'm very happy with the progress considering my circumstances." As I said, he went through a bankruptcy. He was reeling from the recession still, right? And he just wanted to say hi again. I can see the end of a tunnel. When he sent me this email, he had sold 258 copies of his ebooks. Now imagine if he sold them at $10 each. That's $2,580 here, right? That he made. I asked him if I could use this. I sent him a reply email and I said, "Darren, that's awesome. Can I use your testimonial?" But next day, literally, he sent me a reply back. He says, "Ty, you can use it, but get this. I'm now up to 336 sales as we speak. I'm happy with that. I was hoping for 200 sales this month, and I'm going to try for 1,000 sales a month starting next month." 1,000 sales at $10 each, that's $10,000 a month, right? Awesome. All right, we've got Monica is in. Monica says, "I am in." So let me write down your name as well, Monica. Who else is in? Victoria says, "I am in." Good to have you aboard. Welcome aboard. All right. Victoria. Henrietta, I'm not sure of the question there. All right. K, promo code. No, there's no promo code K. If you go straight to 30dayprofits.com, you will see the $497 price point. As a matter of fact, I will walk you through that in just a moment, okay? I'll show you exactly how that order form looks. And again, Darren DeVry here sending me that testimonial. Now, folks, if all this did was to finally allow you to generate a consistent hands-free passive income stream every single month, would it be worth it? Think about that. Would it be worth it? All right? If all this did was to give you that consistent passive income stream, listen, this investment that you're making is a drop in the bucket compared to what you could passively generate from it every single month. And as humans, we have this fear of loss, right? We have this fear of loss, and we don't think about everything that we can gain from this. Think about your gain here. Don't look at the fear of loss. Look at the gain. We've got K is in. Liz says I am in. So K and then Liz. All right. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've got 3 more slots. All right. K, yes, you are in. We've got 3 more. K says, did I make it? Yes, you did, K. You're in. We've got Brad is in. So we have 2 more slots. If you're serious about this, you want to get in right now. So now let's continue here. All right. If all this did was to give you a kick in the butt to finally get you moving and making money, would it be worth it? And congratulations for getting in, Brad. All right. If all this did was to give you the kick in the butt, remember we spoke about being focused and how I saw this opportunity. I literally had a check that was in the amount of $2,200, and because I was unfocused, because I had shiny object syndrome, because I was all over the place, because I needed that kick in the butt, I didn't see the true potential. This will give you that kick in the butt so that you can get focused. Now I'm making money with this. Now I've got this rolling. Now I can go in and do 2 or 3 other things if I wanted to. I started a mobile app company, right? I started a few other businesses. So you can take this money and use it to fund your other businesses. Okay, who else do we have? We have Seth says, I'm in. Henrietta, yes, you are in, I think, Henrietta. Let's see. Seth says, I am in. I think that might be, let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We've got 1 more slot here available. If you want to go, we've got Seth, Brad, Liz, Kay, Victoria, Monica, Rebecca, Rhonda, Henrietta. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We've got 9. We've got one more slot. So if you want to go in, all right, here's the thing. We've got Seth is in. Let's see. I want to make sure. We've got Henrietta is in. All right. We've got Brett is in. Brett says, I'm in. So let me write down your name, Brett. Here's the thing, folks. Here's what I'm going to do. All right. Because this is Davin's group, because you folks seem to be very serious, this is why I limit this stuff here. I could literally let a ton of people in, right? But I limit this because I only want to work with people who really want to see a difference in themselves. I've gotten to a point where I created a philosophy for myself about a year ago where I said, you know what? I'm only going to work with the people that I want to work with, only work on the projects that I want to work on, and only work when I want to work. All right? So I've started limiting who I allow into this program because I only want serious people in. What I'm going to do is, because I know that this group is a little bit different, I'm going to let another batch of 10 people in. So whether you're in this, absolutely. Davita says, I love your philosophy. I think that life is too short and we have so many options, Davita, that we shouldn't compromise. We shouldn't compromise. All right? So I'm going to do something special here, again, because this is Davin. I'm going to let another 10 individuals in. And while I'm saying that, we already have a ton of people that have already gotten in addition to these. So we've got, so whether you're watching the replay or you're watching this right now live, I'm going to let another 10 people in, but after that, that is it. All right, so we'll have 20 in altogether. Leroy says, I'm in, but he wants to make sure that PayPal sends him a receipt. So Leroy, did you get that? Leroy, you are number 11, so you get those bonuses. Let me write your name down. Florence A says, I'm in. She put that in twice. Florence, you are in. You're number 12. We're getting, who else? 13 in is, well, Brett says he's paid. Brett, you're already in. I called your name out earlier. I know that. Nancy, you're in. Nancy Justice, you're number 13, Nancy. Florence, yes, I got you. Leroy, my man Leroy, he's been really active this entire presentation. Leroy, you are in. Rosina, yes. All right. So go ahead. We have 6 more slots if you want to get in. 6 more slots. Let's see. It's www.30dayprofits.com. All right. Henrietta, yes, you are number 1. You were number 1. So Nancy says lucky 13. All right, let's see. We got Michael. Michael says, I am in. Let me write down your name, Michael. Good to have you. This is the Take Action group right here. This is what I love. You see, guys, this is the thing. Someone said earlier when I was debating if I should go into the outsourcing site, Google.com, someone said go with your gut, right? And I did that. And because I wanted to share. I think that we should always use that. We should always use that. We should always go with our gut, go with our instinct, okay? And I say that to say to you right now, if you're watching this thing, go with your gut. So many times we talk ourselves out of amazing opportunities. We talk ourselves out of things that can really make a big difference in our lives because we doubt ourselves, right? So if all this did was to give you 2 or 3 ebooks that each brought in $500 a month to pay a bill or to save, would it be worth it? Think about that. Would it be worth it? Right? Think about that. You're paying $4.97 for this thing. What if you brought in just on the low end? We're going to be super conservative because, again, I don't like hypey webinars where they're talking about you're going to make $1 gazillion. Right? If you just brought in $500 a month, there's nowhere on the planet Earth that you can do that legally that I know of. And if you do know of a place where you can do it legally, let me know because I'm all in. So this is the entire program, 30dayprofits.com. Go in, get started right now, come into the Facebook group, say hello, and more importantly, let me know what you thought about the presentation. And we're not over yet because I know you folks still have a lot of questions about Kindle publishing. So I want to answer every single one of your questions. I don't care if we have to stay here for another hour. I'm willing to answer every single question that you have. All right? We have Jason is in. So Jason, you're number 16. All right, if you want to get in, go in and place that order right now. I know a few people said that they're trying to type their orders in right now while watching. That's awesome. I love it. I love the excitement. So here's everything that you'll get. You'll get the setup, right, which covers setting up your account. I'm not going to cover any more names as to who's in because I want to just get through this presentation. But just go in and put the words I'm in into the questions box and we'll add you to the list. So you'll get the setup, which covers setting up your account, how to get started quickly, what not to do so that you don't get banned. And just remember that we have 4 more slots, whether you're watching it live or over replay. So do that right now. All right. You'll also get Kindling for Profits, which is a $1,497 value. We cover finding the right niche and readers. I go into how you can literally go in and cherry pick niches that are active, hyperactive buyers. Like, this is the stuff that your competitors don't know. This is stuff that no one else knows. That's why I can get testimonials and I can get comments from people who say this is the best training. Like, I literally had a guy the other day who came into the group and he says, you know what, I must have purchased dozens of programs over the last 8 years. And he said that this program has been the best program that he's ever purchased. Right? This guy has literally spent thousands and thousands of dollars, and he said this, and he brought in at the $2,000 price point. All right, so do me a favor, when you come into the Facebook group, don't mention to anyone that you got in at $497, please, because everyone there paid $2,000 there. Right? So you'll also get the Kindling for Profits module, which is a $1,497 value. You'll also get the Biomagnet module, which is a $2,997 value. We cover the critical must-have elements, right, that will make your ebook sell. Okay? We cover pricing, descriptions, covers, reviews. Okay? So you get all of this. All right? You'll also get the KDP Cash Extraction module, which is a $3,500 value, where we cover the secret ways to use the Kindle Direct Publishing platform to make more money than most people ever will. Think about it, folks. Have you ever seen anyone share any of the stuff that you're getting on this presentation here? So think about if the free presentation was good. Can you imagine what's in the actual program? All right? Victoria, you can go in and get the bonuses once you get your login information, so check your email, check your spam as well. All right? We still have folks that are lining up. The total value is $8,991 of everything that you'll get. Again, you're going to get the Fast Action bonus number 1, which is the Google Kindle Crunch. This covers getting your ebook listed in Google. and will help you to increase your sales big time. This is actually where 30% of my sales come from. This is a special module that's alone. It's set aside from the course itself. You don't want to miss this, right? It's a $2,000 value. You'll also get the Money Multiplicity bonus, which covers how to publish the same content that you're publishing to Amazon and also publish it to Barnes & Noble's Nook Press platform as well as the Apple iBook Store platform. This is a $997 value. You'll also get this virtual assistant, which can help you with researching your topics, coming up with ideas, writing out descriptions, communicating with your writer, or anything else that you can think of, including working on some of your other businesses. Okay? So you'll get that, and then, okay, you'll also get, let me just keep going here, access to a private Facebook group. All right, so you'll get access to this private Facebook group where you get to brainstorm with literally almost 1,000 students that we have in here that are all crushing it. This is like a big mega support group. It's a big family. We all have fun. We all make money together. There's nothing like making money with other people that are like-minded. So that's one of the benefits of this thing. You get to see what's working right now. You get to get instant updates. We're constantly updating. We're constantly sharing things. We're constantly inspiring you. We're constantly motivating you. You get to ask questions. You get to share your ideas. I encourage you to share your ideas because other students do it. You get to brainstorm, and most importantly, you are never left alone on this journey. You get to get help when you need it, okay? All right? No, Kay, this is instant access, okay? Mats, do you have the URL? There you go. All right? So let's see. What else do we have here? That's the URL there. It's on your Mats. I think you were just looking for it. Okay. Awesome, Kay. Kay says, I'm on the site. Got it. All right. $497, get in right now. Here's something that I didn't mention, folks. If you don't have the money right now, if you're in the U.S. and you don't have the money, you can use PayPal credit to get access, and you don't have to make a payment, right? PayPal will make the payment for you, and you don't have to make a payment for 6 months, and that's interest-free. Emma, you can't use it if you're in the UK, unfortunately. I'm sorry about that. All right? Nancy says, I'm accessing everything as you are speaking. Good to have you in there, Nancy and Kay. All right? So you can go in, you can literally buy now, leverage, right? PayPal's money. You get 6 months interest-free, and then you can go in and pay it back in 6 months. By then, you're already rocking and rolling. You're making money, right? So you have two choices at this point. All right? The first option is to do nothing and not take this leap of faith. Or, right, you can go in with the second option, and that is to pony up this small, tiny investment today compared to all of the value that you'll receive in return, and just give it a shot, folks. Just give it a shot. This thing is amazing. Here's my... Now, if you're not in already, this is going to push you over the edge. It's my crazy guarantee. There's 3 parts to this thing. The first is research. If you can't find a hot topic to create your first ebook around, I will personally help you to get started. This is how serious I am about your success. This is why I want you to succeed. All right? No one does this. Who does this? Who says, if you can't do it, I'll help you? When was the last time you were on a webinar and they said, I will help you? Think about that. All right? Outsourcing. If you can't find someone to write your ebook for you, I will give you access to one of my best writers who will write your first ebook for under $150. Oh, and speaking of that, folks, we're going to go into some of at the end of this webinar, so you might want to stick around because I'm going to go back into that outsourcing site, and I'm going to open up those other listings that I listed. How many people want to see that? Do you want to see that? All right? And then I'm also going to answer every single question that you have, all right? Kay says you'll probably make the $497 back before you get your credit card bill. Yep, there you go. That's the way to think about it, Kay. All right? So I'm going to share that at the end of this webinar. I'm going to go into some other things as well, so stick around. All right? Davita, thank you. Let's see. Davita, I am going to share my contact information. There you go. And if anyone else wants it too, I'll give it to you, okay? It's Ty at KindleCashflow.com. All right, now let's see. Davida, that's a good idea. The third part to my guarantee is sales. If after 60 days you're not making at least $500 per ebook, I will have one of my top coaches jump on a call for you to help kickstart your sales. Okay? To help kickstart your sales. We got more orders that are coming in here. All right? So if you are not in, you want to get in right now. We've got more orders that are coming in here. Okay? So there you go. Davida says, I love your program. Thank you. So you've got these three parts to my guarantee, folks. You cannot fail with this thing. The only thing that's keeping you away right now is you. The only thing that's keeping you away right now is you. It's the fear. It's the inner thoughts. It's the I'm big on personal development, and once I learned to get out of my own way, I started to see an incredible amount of success. All right, and that applies to just more than just this stuff here. I had to get out of my way as it relates to going to seminars and live events and conferences and things like that. I was so comfortable with this internet marketing industry will get you to the point where you're so comfortable with being behind your computer, right? And you don't want to go to events and you don't want to network, but your network is going to be one of your biggest assets. So you have to I have a saying, right, that's on my wall. It says, get uncomfortable with being comfortable. Get uncomfortable with being comfortable. Okay? Thank you. Nancy says, you are generous and caring, Ty. A lovely combination in business and within. I appreciate that, Nancy. I really appreciate that. Now, here's the thing. Serious people only, no tire kickers. Okay? I want people that are going to take action because I put my heart and soul into this thing. So I want people that are going to be able to use it and that are going to use it in the right way. You can use this power for good or you can use it for bad, right? Use it for good. And think about this, right? With this opportunity, right? It can take 3 to 5 years to get your initial investment back. With other opportunities. With something like this, you get 5 times that back. It just started raining really hard, so I got thrown off. I mean, it's really like pouring outside. You should hear it. With this, you get 5 times that amount back with your first couple of ebooks that you publish. All right? So again, 30dayprofits.com. 30dayprofits.com. Now, here's the tale of 2 people. This used to be me right here. I should have switched this name to Timid Ty. Before, I literally was trying everything. Everything, from stuffing envelopes to affiliate marketing to article writing to YouTube videos to everything. And I didn't have any success. And part of the reason I had to do a bit of self-analysis, part of the reason for me not having any success, even after trying for years and years and years and years, and seeming like I was alone on an island by myself, part of the reason was because I doubted everything. I doubted myself, right? I never took risk. So I was this guy over here on the left-hand side, the timid Tommy. Oh, Sherry says it's storming. So I was the timid Tommy. I was the individual that was, I was the pessimist, right? I doubted everything. I always gave more credit to other people than I gave to myself. Right? I would always say, well, this guy can do it. Davin can do it. He's a genius. Or Michael can do it. He's got something that I don't have. Or Robert can do it. He may, be a little bit smarter than I am. Or whatever. He's got more experience or he's got more resources. The truth of the matter is, folks, we all have it in us. It's just up to us to pull it out. We all have it in us. Okay? We just have to be able to take that leap. We have to go back to the point where we're a child. Like I have a 9-year-old, right? We've got 4 children. We have a 9-year-old. We have a 12-year-old who's about to be 13. And we have 2 18-year-olds that are in college. My 9-year-old, we just have these fun times where every day, right? We get together and we just chill out. We do nothing for like an hour, whatever it is that she wants to do. And I just see in her, like, her imagination, and like she's limitless. And I always wonder, I'm like, where does that go as we become an adult? Like, what happens? Why do we lose that? Why do we think that we have to be realistic? Why do we think that we have to be part of this herd mentality and we have to do what everyone else is doing? You know, it feels so good for me to be able to publish to Amazon and to make this money and to be able to do things that some would consider simple, like being the only dad at my 9-year-old daughter Summer's field trip. To be the only dad in the middle of the day that can go on a field trip with his child because he doesn't have to go in and answer to a boss. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with having a 9-to-5. But there is something wrong with not having choice of freedom, especially when it comes to your family. So for me, right, that means everything. For me to be there and to be able to help the other children and to be able to help the other, to be able to help the teachers and to be there with her, those are memories that are going to last. It's not always about the money, folks. It's about the memories. I tell people, the trinkets will get lost. They'll fade. Okay, they'll not be remembered. But it's the memories that you can create that will be long-lasting. That's what it is. And that's when we get down to the core of it, it's not about the money. It's about what you can do with it. To be able to take my children to Thailand, right, and to let them experience that culture for almost an entire month, and to come back and know how to say words like Sawadee Ka or Sawadee or Kapum Kap and things like that, right? To be able to pick up on that, to be able to take them to Spain, it's about that stuff. I don't want to make this into a personal development event, but I just want to, again, because I've got this tight bond with Davin, I wanted to be able to share some of the things that work for me. I can only give you what works for me and what works for my students and what I share with them. And I know this stuff works because I'm not the only one that it's working for. I could see if it just worked for me and it just worked for Darren and if it just worked for Brian. But if what I share works for me and hundreds of other people, then it's something else. And you want to be part of that. Right? Absolutely, Nancy. Nancy says it's about freedom and free from worry. That is it. All right? So I'm going to show you what to do next. When you go to 30dayprofits.com, you're going to go here to that site. You're going to see a page that looks like this. And this is when you'll know when we're totally sold out. If you don't see this page, if you see a big button that says, a big banner, I'm sorry, that says sold out, then we're totally gone and it's too late. And I know at last check, I stopped checking because I didn't want to deviate from the presentation anymore. I think I've done that. I've become the king of deviations here. But I've jumped out of this presentation 1,000,001 times, all right? So if you get to this page and it says sold out, then I'm sorry, you've lost out on another opportunity. And this is something that we won't reopen. Because, again, I'm only serious about working with serious people. I think my time, I think your time is too valuable to do anything other than that. All right? So you're going to come here. You can pay with your credit card. All right? You can use PayPal and check out. And someone asked me for that URL again. I'll paste it into the chat box and hit send. You might be the last individual that's able to get in, so check it out right now if there's any more spots left. I'm not even sure, so even if you're curious, just go in and visit the URL because it might be too late. And if you need to talk this over with a spouse or a business partner, write that URL down, okay, 30-Day Profits. You can pay with PayPal here. You can pay with PayPal credit using this button. You can pay using your Visa, your MasterCard, your American Express, your Discover card, all right? That's the entire program, 30dayprofits.com. You'll get that. You'll get everything that's listed here. I'm not going to go over this again because we're coming to the end of it. I want to get back to the fun stuff, and that is teaching you. some of his stuff, all right? So ask your questions. What can I help you with right now? All right, these are the bonuses that you'll get. What questions do you have so that we can get into it? Liz says, how long is the training? It's a couple of hours long training, Liz, because we get into everything. We get into everything, but you can go over it in a weekend and you can start getting started, right? So that's a great question, right? So again, this is the URL, 30dayprofits.com. Get started now. Whatever questions you folks have, I'm here to answer the questions for you. Let's see. No, okay, not at all. It's hours long. Hours long. Okay. She asks, is it only 2 hours training? No, absolutely. I just really, like I said, I really go into detail in this thing. So it's hours long. All right. Here we go. This is the Facebook group, right? Florence, what code are you talking about? She says, I did not receive the code. I'm in the Caribbean. I'm not sure. What code? Are you talking about the website address? If so, I'll send it to you. It's 30dayprofits.com. There's no code that you have to enter. Kay says, will it take me 2-3 weeks or more? It depends on how, if you dedicate, like you can dedicate an entire weekend and go through the entire course, right? No, Florence, you don't have to enter a promo code or anything. You're going to get it at the $497 price, all right? That is up until it's gone, right? Once those slots are taken, then it will go back up to the $2,000 price. So this is the only time that you'll ever be able to get it for $497. So, and you don't need a promo code, so don't worry about that. All right, so here's one of our students, Linda Allen. She says, I'm so happy about this group. I'm in another group, not Kindle related, but the great thing about this group is I can ask questions, and I've been writing Kindle ebooks for about a year now. I got Ty's program, and I'm so glad I did. I made several $1,000s with it, and that's after stopping for several months. However, I started writing books again about 3 months ago, and the money has continued. Here's the beautiful thing, though. She had an issue where she had a health issue. Okay, she had to stop. She had to stop for 3 or 4 months, but the income kept coming in. Where else can you do that? Can you go to your job and say, you know what, I have to stop working for 3 or 4 months, and think that you're going to continue to get paid? Not at all. Okay, it's actually in the training, so check your email, and you'll see a link to the Facebook group. All right? So here's a testimonial again from Tracy Voister, 5 copies just after she got started. Tony Robbins says, you know, if you want to be successful, find someone who has achieved the results you want and copy what they do, and you'll achieve the same results. Easy, easy, easy stuff. All right? Here's the entire program. Here's the URL. If you don't have this is actually, don't ignore that because that's a higher price point. But now, here's what I want, and you guys are getting it at half of that price. This is what, so here, just to show you, right, this is what I was going to sell it for tonight. And this was going to be a discount from my $2,000 price. Again, this was what I was going to sell it for. And Davin, at the last minute, said, Ty, can you really give my people a discount? Give them a break. And I must have missed this slide because I still have my old slide up here, right? It was going to be $997, which is still an amazing deal considering that it normally sells for $2,000. Okay, so there you go. If you thought that was a gimmick or anything like that, so you folks really, again, please, when you go into the group, don't tell anyone that you got this thing for $497. Right, I only lowered that price because that much because Davin really asked me to, and that's why I'm limiting this thing too. So if you didn't get in already, or if you visit that 30dayprofits.com and you're not able to get in, I'm sorry, I can't offer it at $497 to anyone else other than right now from this presentation. So if you're watching it live as you are right now, or the replay, get in at that $497 price point. And if you have not gotten in yet, tell me, why haven't you signed up? We've been really honest with each other so far. Tell me, is it that you don't think that you can come up with an ebook idea that sells? Why haven't you gotten in? Put it into the questions box. I'm curious. If that's the case, you saw how we did the market research, right? It's super easy to go in and do this stuff. Super easy. Give yourself more credit. If it's reason number 2, right, where you're nervous about putting it all in place, again, it's step by step. So just as you saw here with the webinar, it's step by step. Okay? So you can do this. If my 13-year-old can do it, we've got another kid who's 18 who's rocking it. We have just a ton of people. We've got members who are sharing it with their children, and they're doing really well with it as well. So you can do it as well. Again, this is something that can be done. It doesn't matter if, like I said, my mom is 77, and we've got a 13-year-old who's done it. So 13 to 77. Do you think it's too expensive? Well, that's definitely not the answer, right? Because as you saw, I lowered the price by a quarter, and that's never going to happen again. Okay? Reason number, let's see, 30-day profits. If you didn't sign up immediately again. Reason number 4, maybe you live outside of the U.S. and you think that you can't do this because you live outside of the U.S., right? If that's the case, you can do this no matter where you live on the planet. Okay, it doesn't matter what country you're in right now. This program, Amazon has made their Kindle Direct publishing program available to you. It doesn't matter where you are. You can be in the U.S., Canada, Australia, the U.K., Mexico, Brazil, Spain. We've got students in Russia. We've got Switzerland, Sweden. It doesn't matter where you're at. Amazon will allow you to publish, okay? If you need time to think about it, well, you probably got about 4 or 5 more minutes to think about it. So you want to get your order in right now before we close this bad boy out. I don't see any questions coming in, so we are going to close it out. Reason number 6, if English is not your first language, well, you can publish in other languages. All right? You can publish in other languages. So if that's the case, it doesn't matter. Right? You can Amazon makes it possible for you to publish in Spanish. You can publish in Portuguese. There's just a ton of languages that you can publish in. Right? So if that's an issue for you, don't let it be. If it's, again, that's the URL, 30dayprofits.com, $4.97. Right? You can use PayPal if you need to. Right? You can do that. Here's the other thing. Here's another reason why, if you didn't sign up. And let me know, what else is it besides money? Because we have a ton of people that have signed up. Henrietta, can you send me an email? I won't be able to check it now because we are on the webinar, but if you can check, August, no, there's no upsells. I don't believe, listen, I'm a straight shooter. I don't believe in playing those games. There's no upsells here, so you get everything that I mentioned here. All right? So yeah, so there you go. In August, if you want to get in, you need to do so now because we're about to close this bad boy out. What else is there? Reason number 7, you've never sold anything online and you're new to all of this. If that's the case, this is the perfect place to get started. Perfect place to get started. All right? You're leveraging the power and the brand and the marketing genius of Amazon. Okay, so this is the absolute best place to get started if that's the case. Reason number 8, right? You don't have enough money. If that's the case, you can go in and use PayPal credit. So you get that option, right, of leveraging PayPal's money as well as their, like I said earlier, their resources and everything else. Okay, so you get to do that. Now, the final reason that's out there that's holding you back, let me know, what is it? All right, let me know, what is it? Put it into the questions box because I'm really curious here. Rosina says, thank you, Ty, for all of the personal contact on the webinar. You're welcome. And I have to thank you because, again, like I said, you guys have been an awesome group here. All right? Let's see. Can I do this in Canada? Yes, you can, Benedict. You can do this in Canada. I've got literally hundreds of students that are in Canada. Let's see. Yes, Rosina, you are. Rosina says, is she entitled to all of her bonuses? Yes. Everyone that gets in before we close out within the next 4 minutes is entitled to all of her bonuses. So get your order in right now and you'll get all of her bonuses. There's no upsells. You can do this if you're in Canada. You can do this if you're in any country, including those outside of the United States. All right? And here, take a look at some of the reviews that I've gotten from some of my students, and you can actually see some of the books that they've published really quickly. Actually, I don't think this is going to work. It's not going to work because I'm actually on a different computer right now. I'm actually doing this. August says, I missed most of her presentation, got on late, but I loved what I did see. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right. All right. Patricia. All right. Hey, I'm gonna share something awesome with you folks really quickly here. I want to share something with you, right? I want to give you something. Take a look at this. How many of you are into online marketing and just love marketing in general, right? If you are, Patricia's in. Take a look at this Facebook group that I want you to. We've got a Facebook group where we share a ton of marketing resources. Let me see if I can pull it up. It's called Let's All Make Money Online. All right, let's all make money online. Let's all make money online. All right, so go in and request that we add you. This is a private group, so we don't let everyone in here. All right, so let's all make money online. This is it right here. We've got over 3,000 members. And go in and request that we add you to this group. We've got 9 people that want to join right now. So go in. It's Let's All Make Money Online. Take a look at that and request that we add you in. I'll add that URL really quickly into the chat so you can click onto it. But most importantly, we have come to the end of this presentation. So I want you to get in right now. Thank you for listening. You can get in by visiting that URL, 30dayprofits.com. And are there any questions? Like, is there anything? I don't want to leave anyone unanswered here. Okay? Monica says help. What do you need help with, Monica? All I see is the word help. What do you need help with? Let me know and I'll help you out. All right, Lisa says thank you for the content and personal interaction. All right. Oh, Monica, absolutely. So here's what you can do. You go in. She says that the keyword planner looks a little bit different for her. It's the absolute same. So just go in, and up at the top, you're going to see a drop down that says Tools. So click that. All right. Sal, absolutely. What do you want to see? What do you want to see? Sal says, let's see more. I can definitely do that. What do you want to see? Tell me what you want to see, Sal, and we'll do that. Rebecca says, thanks. See you on the other side. I'm looking forward to it, Rebecca. Come in and say hi. All right? Henrietta says, how long will it take before I get results? That varies, and everyone's different. It depends on how much action you put towards it, how quickly you start, when you get started. Okay. Monica, no. Take a look at the upper right-hand side. Monica, send me an email too, okay? Actually, go into the Facebook group, Monica, and I'll help you out there. Sal says he wants to see some other sites. I showed Guru, and I'll show you another site, Sal. Let's see. Who wants to see another outsourcing site that I use? All right? Give me a big yes if you want to see another outsourcing site that I use here. But let's do it. So we got yeses coming in. Sherry's here. We've got Monica. We've got Rosina. We've got Claude. We've got Ken. Some people I haven't heard from the entire webinar. Patricia. All right. Nancy. Joelle. Okay, so let's do it really quickly here. But before we do that, I want everyone to take a screenshot of the screen that you see in front of you. This 30dayprofits.com, because we have 2 more copies left, I believe it is. All right, we have 2 more copies left, and after that, that is it. All right, so take a screenshot, write down this URL if you're not in, 30dayprofits.com. I would really feel bad for you if you missed this $497 pricing and had to pay the $2,000 price point, you know, just a few hours from now. That would not be good, right? It would actually make me feel bad, but all right, so here, let's take a look. Let's go outside really quickly. And there's that Facebook page, so make sure you go in and request to be part of the Let's All Make Money Online group, okay? So that we can get you rocking and rolling. And there, wow, a lot of people have requested it already. We've got 17 people that want to join. Now, let's go. Here's another one that I use. Upwork.com. They are down right now. The Upwork site is down for scheduled maintenance. Shouldn't be long. I'm sorry, I can't show you. I was going to show you some really cool stuff in here too. All right, so Upwork is down right now. All right, so I can't really do anything with that one. All right. Anything else you want to see? Upwork K is another outsourcing site. So K was just asking, what is Upwork? What else do you folks want to talk about? What else do you want to see? I want to answer your questions. What else? Nancy says, are there coaching calls that are included? There are recorded calls that are in there, but we don't do coaching calls here because we have the Facebook group, so we answer everything right in there. But every once in a while, I do a surprise call, and I'll announce it, and we get on, and we all do a webinar like this, and we just cover some cool stuff, and we answer questions. All right? What else do folks want to know? It looks like all of the questions have come in. Right, so again, 30dayprofits.com, that's it. This is the final hurrah. All right, I am going to request that you give me 3:30 in the morning from someone. All right, Gal, what was that? I don't get it. Where did you see that, Gal? Oh, I know what it was. I told you that when you stay to the end, I'm going to reveal to you the niche that my daughter, Maya, publishes to, and she got started when she was 13. So she loves reading mystery thrillers, right? Ever since I could remember, she was like 6 or 7. So she just loved reading mystery thrillers, and we got to a point where she was about just before her 13th birthday. She was about 12, and I said, you know what? You love these things. You're spending all your birthday money. You're buying mystery thrillers. You love reading. Why don't you start publishing some of these, right? And she took the course. I gave her the course, and she started publishing. Okay? She started publishing. Okay? And I'm glad she did, because it really does something for a child's self-esteem. When entrepreneurship is just great in so many ways. Not only does it help us, right, but it helps your self-esteem, especially for a kid. There's nothing like a kid learning how to be resourceful on his or her own, right? So there you have it. Hey, folks, I really got to get going here. It's raining like cats and dogs. Again, 30dayprofits.com. Make sure you write that down. Make sure you go in and check out the website. Or not, the Facebook group, I should say. Let's All Make Money Online. And once you become a member of the Kindle Cashflow program, you'll also get access to the Kindle Cashflow Facebook group. That's a private one right there, so I can't share that one with you. But that's the URL. Great group, great audience. Would you mind leaving me a testimonial, please, so I can share this on my website? I promise that I will give you credit. I'll put your name up in lights. So real quick, type up a testimonial. Tell me what you thought about this webinar. And if you have a book title, or if you have a website or a product, put that in there, and I'll list it on the site as well, so that you get some exposure. Okay? So go ahead, type up a testimonial. Tell me what you thought of this webinar, whether you got into the system or you didn't. Okay? And then, seems like we got Peter is in. Peter is in. So, Peter is number 19. Good to have you, Peter. That means we have one last spot. Who will be the lucky person to get in last? All right? So let's see. August says, great Webby, great job, great program, great investment, great value. Wow, that's awesome. I love that. That's a great testimonial. Thank you for that. All right? Let's see. Who else is leaving a testimonial, folks? Leave me a testimonial here. But this must be a replay, says Catherine Hamilton. Why do you think that is, Catherine? I'm surprised. Why would I thought I answered some of your questions, Catherine, earlier. Actually, if you think it's a replay, I guess now that answers your question, right? What do you think, Catherine? Tell me. Is it a replay now? Future, she puts LOL in. FutureHiringTrends.com, which will launch in about a week. Would love the exposure. I've signed up for 30dayprofits.com. Brad, all right. Catherine says, I'm in. All right, good to have you. All right. And I loved Ty's webinar. He gave so much value and content. It was wonderful. Awesome, Sherry. I like that. Thank you. Great value. Kay says great value and seems very easy to use. Can't wait to do the training and make money. Thanks, Ty. Thank you, Kay. That was awesome as well. Go ahead. Write up your testimonials, folks. I really, really, really value your feedback. And in exchange, I'm going to list your testimonial. What was that? I'm going to list your testimonial as well as your website address or your book on my site, okay? HTTP. Oh, I know. Here's the thing. Here's what I'm going to do. If you go in into I'm going to give you something extra special. I don't even know what it is going to be yet, but I'm going to make it extra special. But if you go over here to our Facebook group, right? Where's it at? And you leave your testimonial for me there, so I can also get your picture, and I'll post that on the site. Leave it here in the Let's All Make Money Online Facebook group, and I'll leave it there, your testimonial there. I'm going to have to approve you. I'll do it right now. I'm going to approve you right now and leave the testimonial right here. Tell me what you thought of this webinar, this presentation, and everyone that does, I'm going to give you an extra special bonus. I'm not sure what that will be, but I promise you it will be something that is of amazing value, okay? So again, did you get that? Did everyone get what I just said? Right? Here's the URL to get in if you want to get into the 30-Day Profits program. And to leave me a testimonial, visit this URL, the one that I'm posting into the chat box, or go over to Let's All Make Money Online, right? Request that I let you in. Once I approve you, I just approved everyone that wanted to be in. I'm starting to get dry mouth. I've never spoken this long before, but again, it's this group. Leave me a testimonial. Tell me what you thought of this webinar, and I will send you a special gift. Okay? How does that feel? How does that sound? All right, so in exchange for that. All right, so do that there. What else do we have? Any other questions before we give it the old 3, 2, 1 here and close it out? We've got one more person that wants to join. All right, 30dayprofits.com, 30dayprofits.com. All right, go in, leave that testimonial here, go to 30dayprofits.com, get your order in. Here's what it is. I know that I said there's a certain number of people, but if you get in before we end this thing out, and I'm going to count down from 60. If you get in before then you'll get all the bonuses. All right? So there you go. Have a great day, great morning, great night. And this was a great time, folks. Appreciate having you here. Bye-bye. Rosina, I definitely will. All right? I definitely will. That was an awesome testimonial of you. Lisa, you can leave it in the group there. Yes, that's fine. Matt, I'm going to approve you right now. He says, I'm in a Facebook group page, but he can't leave anything. Let me go and approve you right now, Matt. And you should be able to leave your testimony over here. All right, so, and just leave it in the Facebook group. If you want that extra special bonus, I'm going to put something together. I'm not sure what it is now, but I'll put something together for everyone that leaves a testimonial in the Facebook group, and that will be for you folks there. All right, so here we go. Again, have a great one. Thank you for all of the great feedback, all of the great interaction, and all of the great new members that we have. Okay, here we go. Terry says, trying to leave a comment testimonial. Where are you leaving it at, Terry? Where are you trying to leave it at? Let me know. Lisa says, I've been watching you for several years, and I'm always impressed. Thank you, Lisa. That's very, very flattering. Love it. Terry, where are you trying to leave your the testimony over here? Let me know. Is it? And again, folks, if you have not written down that URL to 30dayprofits.com, make sure you do so in the event that you need to. If you're not in and you're just sitting on the fence, I'm not sure why you would be. We have so many amazing, incredible people that have joined us already. You want to be surrounded by these individuals, like-minded people, right? So there, everyone is in. We will go in, and here's the other thing. Request sent, okay? Here's a few Facebook. Gear says, just attended a great webinar of Ty about making Kindle books on Amazon. All right, that's awesome. I'm going to approve that one. Here's another one. Thanks, Ty, for a great webinar. All right, I'm going to approve that one. All right, so we've got some great comments that are coming in here. So keep it going, folks, and I will approve them as they come in. All right, so there we go. Patricia, my dear, you're approved. All right, so here we go, folks. We are closing this bad boy out now. All right, so have a good one, folks. Bye-bye. I'll leave this page up for just a few minutes so you can make sure that you have the URL, 30dayprofits.com.